Chicago Bears have made some decent moves. Just recently they signed the Coby Bryant from Seattle Seahawks safety. That's a great move. That means Jaquan Brisker is out of here, and it would be Bryant and Bayard in that back end of the defense. Decent move. The moves that's been made so far have been very solid. I have no qualms against the moves that has been made. I know everyone's looking for splash, but it's a lot of substance going on. I think that's what Brian Pose is looking for right now. So, I suggest everyone be patient and just hang in there. We just, a couple of hours into this thing. I do like the re-signing of Jackson. Um, Very solid signing. The Bears have been consistent all season, saying what they wanted to add. Number one thing was speed. DeMarco Jackson brings a lot of intensity, brings a lot of speed. Not a very big guy, but very instinctive, very quick, pretty fast and powerful. So, also the new signing of the defensive end. I mean, the former coach defensive tackle, big body. I think is like 6'1", 305, 309, something like that. A lot of people are upset about that signing, but this is a great depth piece, and you need depth in the National Football League mainly because the game is so physical. So physical, and guys get hurt and guys get tired. So this is a good depth piece that the Bears have added. Like I said, everyone, this is not John Madden football where you can just put guys that you like on your team. You have to be patient and let this thing play out. I know Pose hasn't had a great track record with some of you, but listen, he's the man of the job. He's the man with the job. Yeah, Ben Johnson, and you also have our defensive coordinator, kind of talking about the guys that they want to add. So listen, I suggest everyone just sit back and relax. Let things transpire the way they're supposed to. But Coby Bryant is a very good sign. That's a guy that I want the Bears to draft, right, by the way, out of Cincinnati. Um, Instinctive, fast, young. That's the key, young. Everybody wants to sign these 30-year-old guys. Listen, man, when you're trying to build a team for the long haul, you have to sign younger guys. There's no substitute for experience, but there's also no substitute for youth. So I suggest guys be patient and hang in there. Welcome for you whoever's watching, wherever you're watching from. This is Chicago Sports Podcast. I am D Nice, and this is we talk about the Bears and free agent frenzy. What are your thoughts? Who do you think the Bears should go after? Who do you want? I know that's a very loaded question, and I know guys and girls alike will get excited about that. But let's talk about who you want on this football team. Who do you want Ryan Poles to go after? But let's be realistic. Let's try to be as real as possible when we talk about these additions. Um, I personally have my preference of guys, but you know, some of them have gone to other teams, and some are still out there hanging on. But we're just a couple of hours into this thing. Buckle up. It's moving slow right now, though. This is ridiculously slow. Compared to years past. Usually guys jumping off left and right. Um, Things are moving slowly, but we in here. We're gonna see what's going on. Leave your comments in the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We are all Bears fans, and we want the best for this football team. But we have to be realistic. You hear talk about guys like Khalil Mack, Cam Jordan, um, Alex Anzalone. Those guys are well. Mack is back with the Chargers. Anzalone just signed with the Bucks, if I'm not mistaken. You know, those are not the guys for this football team. Now, true enough, we need players. We have a lot of open spots to fill, and we do need guys. We're not above needing people. But the key is to getting the right people. They don't have to be big names. It'll be nice if we can get the big name come in here and do what we have to do and make this team a success. But having big names is not necessarily to win free agency. We see a lot of teams jump out year by year and get these big names and have a lot of success in free agency. But it looks good on paper, but it still has to be handled on the field. The free agency process, once it starts, it's a pretty lengthy process. Guys can be picked up and dropped at any time. I want to give a shout out to my man Luis Claudio. You want to see Owe? Yeah, I like Owe too. Shout out to North Dakota. Shout out to North Dakota. You don't see that a lot, but shout out to North Dakota. We in here, Luis. Um, Uwe. Uwe's decent, man. I really like it. A lot of potential, young, powerful, good size, good burst. Uh, Shout out to Big Drew. What up, bro? Michael, what's good? What's good? Guys, hey fellas, since y'all in there, let us know who you guys would like to see the Bears add on this football team. At this point, we're we're not where we used to be. We are in some very unfamiliar territory compared to years past. We have a 25th pick in the first round, which we're usually picking in the top 10. We found ways to finagle the cap and have a pretty decent bag to spill out, but we can't spill it all on one guy. You know, True enough, things you have to spend. In the league, if you want to be good, you have to spend, but you have to spend wisely. You have to decide what you want to spend as well. Either you're gonna spend money or draft capital. Ain't no way around it. Ain't no way around it. Money or draft capital will be spent, but the key is spending it wisely. Shout out to DJ. What's good, homie? Um, DJ said the main concern is getting to the QB. Absolutely, that's football. Football is surrounded by the QB. You either need to get one for your team so he can be a field general for your offense, or you need to get some guys on the other side of the ball who either trying to take the ball away from him or knock his head off when he get past to the offensive lineman. So, I hear you, DJ. The main concern is getting to the quarterback. Shout out to Tracks. Shout out to Ryan. KB. Shout out to you. Let's go. Let's get it. It's Chicago Bears free agency, NFL free agency. We ain't gonna even cut it down. We are all Bears fans. We understand that, but this is NFL free agency. So that means some guys are gonna be on our football team that was on another football team in years past. Um, Trying to get this information together about our new additions again. The most notable ones have been DeMarco Jackson and the one safety from Seattle, that's Coby Bryant. The young man, the former Indianapolis Colt, I want to get his name. Get loaded up here. I want to get his name because it's very important. He comes from the CFL as well. Now, I've looked at a little bit of what he has to offer. He has something that the guys up front have been lacking. You know, the guys up front have been lacking for a while, and that's burst off of the line. Neville Gallimore. Neville Gallimore is a name. I do believe that he'll be taking the spot of one Big Bill. Be sad to see Big Bill go out. He was a fan favorite, and I know he's a favorite of mine. Nick Chubb, Henderson, listen, word on the street, fellas, that Henderson is headed to Philadelphia. John Franklin Myers is a very interesting one. He fits what Dennis Allen likes to do. Jalen Carter, Chase Young will be great additions. Listen, now, Big Drew, shout out to you. You brought up Jalen Carter. It's a lot of push and pull to Jalen Carter. You got a lot of our Bears fans that would like to see it happen, but there's a lot more that don't want to see it happen. They're caught up in the antics, and rightfully so. We see a guy that's spitting on players. Breaking news: Linderbaum, who I wanted as the Bears center, has reset the center market. 3 years, 81 million. 3 years, $81 million. Appreciate you, Mike, for dropping that jewel on us. 3 years, $81 million for a center. Tells you what kind of world we're living in today's NFL. Shout out to Leonard Bum, shout out to his agent, shout out to his family. Y'all gonna enjoy that. Good luck in Vegas though. Good luck. Good addition for Vegas. They're gonna have a rookie quarterback pretty soon. So hey, good for them. Anybody that's been signed or being signed to other ball clubs, listen, congratulations, go get that money. Shout out to Matt Cooper. Matt, what's up, big dog? What's up? What's up? Say you're doing some great work. Hey, thanks for chiming in, man. Listen, appreciate you multitasking and paying attention to me of all people. Appreciate you, Coop. Coop says, Jalen Carter is a very good player. But man, the Panthers pay way more than. Oh, I think you're thinking about Jalen Phillips, Matt, the defensive end. Jalen Phillips, Jalen Carter's that defensive end that the Bears passed up on in the draft, and we drafted Darnell Wright. But yeah, listen. One thing about Carolina that we could say, and they made it to the playoffs with the record. The record was the record. They won the division. The record was the record again. Young quarterback. They still have time to pay big name players. Jalen Phillips is an excellent defensive end to go with that very aggressive defense that Carolina has. They have two very good cornerbacks, a very, very nice back end with the safeties. Young core group, can get to the football. They gave Matt Stafford fits, but they just wasn't good enough to pull it off. He got a massive deal. I wasn't ready for that one, Cool. I really wasn't. Shout out to everybody. That's checking in. Appreciate you guys chiming in wherever you're looking in from. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Chicago Sports Podcast, and this is Free Agent Frenzy. Things are moving kind of slow, but they're moving. The Bears moves. Coby Bryant has been the most recent addition. Safety out of the University of Cincinnati and former Seattle Seahawks. Super Bowl champion Coby Bryant. Sounds familiar, but this is not the Black Mamba. This is not basketball. I wonder what number he's going to wear when he gets here. I wonder if he's going to don the 8 or he's going to be blessed with that 2-4. We'll see. But welcome, Mr. Bryant. We're glad to have you. The Bears' first signing of the day was outside was Mr. Neville Gallimore, former CFL defensive tackle, also former Indianapolis Colt. I suggest, guys, before you start getting mad, it's a 2-year deal, and I think it's for maybe 11 and a half, 6 maybe guaranteed. But before guys go flying off the handle talking about who, listen, very successful teams have a lot of guys that you would say who to. Okay? It's not all about the superstars. Any great player tell you that he's nothing, without the guys that he suits up with week to week and he's in the trenches with, regardless of name. It's all about game. Neville Gallimore is a depth piece, something that we need. We have, before him, I think we only had maybe 2 or 3 defensive linemen signed. So this is a guy that's gonna come in here, fill a void. It's much needed. He's pretty good against the run. Got very good feet. I suggest you guys. This is the time you got when you start hearing names that you have never heard of. It's time for you guys to lean into good old YouTube. YouTube is your friend, and they will show you everything you need to know. All you have to do is type this young man's name in, and you can see it. PFF grades and things of that nature. Yeah, that's all well and fine, but nothing matters. Nothing matters but the play on the field. Whatever you see on paper, it is what it is. But the play on the field is everything. And I suggest, boys and girls, you guys, check them out before you start to cast judgment and make these calls of who is this and who is that. Listen, this is a long process. It's going to last us all the way up into training camp. Moves will be made via trade, signings, cuts, whatever. Moves will be made. Strap up. It's going to be a long ride, but be ready. Be ready. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Tracks. So again, wherever you guys watching from, thank you for watching. Thank you for checking me out. This is Chicago Sports Podcast, and this is Free Agent Frenzy. Let us know what guys you would like to see the Bears signed, and it's due to this free agent process. We got a little money. We got a little money to play with. You know, some of the guys that have been predicted to sign with us have been, added to other teams. And I want to say this because word on the street, before anybody says, well, we didn't put enough effort to signing guys like Max Crosby or trading for a guy like Max Crosby. Um, Quiet is kept. The Bears gave a similar offer that Baltimore did. They just chose to go with Baltimore. So, hey, can't cry about that. The effort is there. Before anyone, there's a lot of people that, speak bad on Poe's name, but the effort has been there. The effort has been there, and we cannot throw the whole back. We can't blow the whole load on one guy. Pause. Um, Big Drew asked, what do we know about the center from the Patriots we signed? Big Drew, I can tell you there's one thing we do know. He's good enough to get to a Super Bowl with. That's a fact. That's one thing we do know. Um, very successful. He played he played with Sam Darnold in Minnesota. I think he may have played with Kirk Cousins as well. Just recently with the Patriots, had a heck of a year. Again, not the guy everybody wanted, but it's not sometimes not about what you want. It's about filling the spot, fulfilling the need. And we shall see. We shall see what happens when he gets on the field. But nevertheless, it was a need, a very important need. To me, it was more important than adding a pass rusher. Center is a very pivotal position. It's not very sexy, but it may be the most important position on the offensive line. He calls the shots, and we all know the quickest way to get to anything or anybody is a straight line. And to get to the quarterback, you have to get past the center. This is a guy that haven't given up a whole lot of sacks in his career. Um, Not very penalized. I want to go back and speak on Dalvin for a second. I was happy when we signed him, but as you, I don't know if you guys noticed, throughout the year he had some struggles and he dealt with some inconsistencies. Now he played very well, Pro Bowl player, good for him, and I wish him well in his retirement. But if you guys really paid attention to the trenches, Drew Dahlman was a little shaky at the end of the year, and good thing that he informed the Bears at a good time that he was not going to be participating anymore, that he wanted to retire. Trax says Adam Schefter reported that they only monitored Max and never made an offer. Brother, that was reported yesterday. I'm telling you what I heard just recently, Trax. I hear you. But they made a similar offer. But I understand. But I didn't want to give up two first anyway. So good for the Baltimore, good for Max. Everybody got what they wanted in that particular deal, and good for the Raiders. Um, Absolutely. You can't sign $30 million players with 15 holes to fill on 25 mil. You're absolutely right, Trax. You're absolutely correct. And again, it's not about the stars. It's not about the stars all the time. We need as much substance with this football team as possible. Start having, if it'll be great if we can start drafting some stars. So, we won't have to wait on guys to be unhappy elsewhere or wait on them to become free agents. And we don't have to throw a whole load at him him coming from another team. The draft is upon us. We got 3 picks, I believe, in the top 100, 3 or 4 in the top 100. I want to say 3, but hopefully we can get some. We got two. We got 2 second-round picks, a first and third, and we if possibly we can get the picks from the Falcons for getting Ian Cunningham. Like I said, shout out to Tyler Loop. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hey man, even the punters getting paid. That's letting you guys know where we at in today's NFL. KB said, that just says we weren't willing to give up a bunch of true indeed, KB. True indeed, true indeed, true indeed. We all wanted Max, right? We all wanted him, but listen, you have to lay the groundwork for your football team. You know, the the others, as Shaq would say, the others matter. The stars are the stars, but the others do matter. And the Chicago Bears so far have done a excellent job of getting the others. Now, remember, we still have some players in our own backyard that we have to sign. Kevin Byard's not going to be cheap. He had excellent timing, coming off of All Pro season, leading the NFL in interceptions. As the Bears, as a team, were one of the league leaders in turnovers. That has to be compensated for. You have to pay for that. That's just the game. The game is the game, and you have to pay for that. So, Kevin Byard, he will be returning. I think I'm hoping, but what I've heard, it's a pretty high chance that he will be back. And from what you guys just seen, we know that Jaquan Brisker will not. I think the Bears are going to draft in that position as well. There's been a lot of mumblings about what we're going to do at left tackle. That's something to be seen, but I do think the Bears will be drafting a left tackle, a center, as well as defensive ends and safeties and things of that nature. So, but we're going to see what we can get in this free agency game, man. Listen, it's a very long process. I just ask our fans to be very patient with this process, be patient with the GM. We're not going to love every signing. It's just the way it is. I want a superstar, and I know we all want a superstar, but we have to fill in the holes. Well, Big Drew Anzalone has gone to Tampa Bay. Thank God. I didn't want him. 32-year-old linebacker. Nah, he's more. I don't think he would do what we need him to do here in Chicago. Effort player. Kind of a gadget guy, but he's 32 years old. Free agency is about getting nice young talent. It's not, if you already have the young talent and you need to add an older guy, then free agents can be some. You can use free agency for that. But when you're trying to build a culture and a contender, you have to get young, good ball players. And I think that's the track that Ryan Poles is on. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, last year we wanted him. A lot of us wanted him out. I wasn't one of those guys, but a lot of people wanted him out. To keep it real, and he ended up, righting a lot of wrongs that were, he held himself accountable, which is something that we all want, and he made up for it. So let's see if he can do it again. I'm very interested. This is one of my favorite times of year in sports, free agency. Because number one, guys get paid. I'm for guys getting paid. It's a great thing that guys get paid. And number one, there's a chance to improve the ball club, and we all need to be with that. Hate it or love it. We all have to love that part of this game. So, again, please like and subscribe to Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm your host, D Nice, and this is Free Agent Frenzy. Like and subscribe. Hey, come in this chat and let us know who you would like to see the Chicago Bears sign. What are some of your favorite moves in free agency? Just get in here with us and share. Oh, NTN to the Saints. Wow, that was unexpected. Shout out to Michael for that update. Probably end of Kamara. Probably end of Kamara. And listen, the league is not very kind to running backs, especially old ones. So, regardless of what he feel like he has in the tank, might be the end. Maybe the end. Shout out to KB. Travis to the Saints. Yeah, Travis Etienne to the Saints. He should get it back for playing for the Saints. I hope he do. What's the details on that? Anybody got that? Anybody got those numbers? This is a strange free agency when the punter is breaking records with money. Shout out to the Giants. I got some good family members that are Giants fans. Shout out to y'all. But everybody laughed when the Bears drafted a punter. The Giants have broken the bank for one. So I'm pretty sure all around these NFL streets and these free agent streets, there's a lot of chuckles with that one. Who do y'all want, man? Who do y'all want out of the guys that's remaining? Let's be realistic. Yeah, Saints and Chiefs and running backs. Where does Love end up now? Well, I tell you what, Michael, you don't just because you sign one don't mean you don't draft one. Um NTN had a great year last year, but he does have a history of being hurt a lot. And I don't think when you have a young quarterback like they have and a nice growing offensive line, you don't never have enough. You have to run the football. It helps the quarterback out tremendously. But we'll see. I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna ask y'all this. If Love gets to 25, now you guys know the guys that know. You guys know I was a huge proponent of the Bears drafting the young running back out of Boise State that was drafted by the Raiders. I was front lining that. So let me ask you, if Love gets to 25, do you think the Bears grab him? Would you like for the Bears to grab him? Let's talk about that. Would you like to the Bears to add Caleb Love to this running back group? Notre Dame guy, it's not far from the city. You know, you might as well call him a homegrown player. But would you like if he reaches 25, do you honestly would you honestly feel that the Bears should sign him? I'm torn. You know, I would like to see who else is on the board, but I'll be torn because you know I want the Bears to sign the safety out. I mean to draft the safety out of Toledo or hopefully a good pass rusher slips. But the way this free agency is going, I don't think he goes there. I'm sorry, Jeremiah Love. Thanks, Trax. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, Jeremiah Love. Caleb Love plays basketball. I'm sorry, Jeremiah Love out of University of Notre Dame. Um, Speaking of safeties, unless you guys have been busy throughout your day, the Chicago Bears have signed Coby Bryant, 3 years, $40 million. Coby Bryant is a Super Bowl champion from the Seattle Seahawks, safety out of University of Cincinnati. Aniel says, with being as a coach, Jeremiah Love is a Bear at 25. Hard not to agree, and even harder not to light Annie up. I swear, I'm with it. You know, I'm with it, but you know, I would like to see who else is on that board. Track says think Janarian Price might go first round. Also, Price is nice as well. Like both guys are nice backs. Ooh, two backs in the first round. When is the last time we seen that? It's been a while. But I know I put something out there. Earlier about the Bears' pursuit of Max Crosby. Um, the Bears were pretty close before Crosby was traded. And from what I understand, that the Bears offered kind of like a similar deal, but Vegas made another choice. I blame Tom Brady. Said Price had better production with the amount of times he handled the ball. both backs in Notre Dame were nice. They were both nice. Annie up. Kobe plays both safety positions, ball hawking champion. Hell of a move. Hell of a move. Yes, indeed. Championship pedigree, man. We need more of that on this football team. We need more of this on the football team. Okay, Mike, Jency, and Hampton did go first round because the Chargers did pick them up at the end. That's right. That's right. Appreciate you guys picking me up when I fall. Right on. That's what teamwork makes the dream work. Listen, everybody like and subscribe, please. Please. Shout out to Brian White. Shout out to you, Brian. 1087. Shout out to you. Please like and subscribe. This is Chicago Bears Free Agent Frenzy. Listen, we are tapped into what this team is going to do to improve from the playoff berth that we were so successful in having last year. Fell short versus the Rams. Now let's see if we can make moves to take us to that next level. We've had a couple of splash signings, but not necessarily splashes, more like trickles. But those are necessary in free agency too. They're not talked about a whole lot, but if they show up on the field, they will be talked about on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays. So that's what we want. Having a lot of buzz in the off season does not count for a whole lot. We want that. We want to have the buzz from September to February. That's what we want. Um, let's see. Let's see. Things kind of started off a little slow in free agency, but things are kind of moving at a. It's picking up a little bit. Rashawn Gary ended up with the Dallas Cowboys. That Green Bay is really helping out the Dallas Cowboy defense, which don't you think? Glad he's out of the division. He gave the Bears HELL every chance he got. So glad he's out of the division. And if you're here for the first time, please like and subscribe. Ooh, that Etienne deal. That's nice. Shout out to Travis Etienne, 13 a year, 4 years, 52 million. Can't argue with it. Shout out to him. Good luck to him in New Orleans. One thing they will be able to do there is run the football. He's a he's a good fit for them. He can be effective in the pass game and he can run between the tackles. Great speed. Hopefully he stays healthy so he can fulfill that contract. That's good money. Shout out to them. Um, let's see what else is going on out here. Chiefs add Kenneth Walker. Interesting. With Pat Mahomes getting hurt, with what I believe is an ACL. KB said it means trade to Chicago. I hope you're right, sir. But from what I'm hearing, bro, Trey is going to Philly. They already got the contract written out. They're just waiting on them to sign it. I think probably after they finish eating lunch, it is lunchtime, right? After they finish lunch, it will be pen to paper, and I think Trey Henderson will be in Philadelphia. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just going by what I'm hearing, man. Don't kill the message. So listen, everybody, wherever you're watching from, thank you for checking us out here at Chicago Sports Podcast. I am your host, D Nice, and this is Free Agent Frenzy. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Doesn't hurt to hit that like button and subscribe and put your opinion in these chats. Let us know how you feel as Bears fans or just fans of football, fans of the NFL. Some of you guys and girls that have favorite players that are going to be changing teams. Let us know how you feel about it. Track says sometimes if you feel more holes early, you can take a grand slam after you have three ducks in on a pond. Hey, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Doug G. That's all right. Thanks for chiming in, Doug. Nice start to free agency. Yes, indeed. No, no, you can't stay long. It's all good. We are in the middle of the work day. I do understand. I do understand. Tracks is coming with it though. Yes, indeed, Doug. Listen, we gotta like these additions. We have to until they show us something different on the football field. Until they show us something different on the football field, we have to embrace these picks. We have to. I mean, these signings. We have to. Doug say he needs a Gallimore jersey. Right on. Doug has bought in the Gallimore, Neville Gallimore already. That's the type of fan that we want. That's the type of fan that we want. Because unfortunately, in this game, look, we're not going to get everybody we want. But the guys that come in here, we have to embrace it, ladies and gentlemen. We have to. Like, we don't know how much of an impact this guy's going to have on our defensive line until he gets suited up and he gets out there on the football field. Hopefully, he stays healthy. Yes, indeed, Doug G. Coby Bryant is very sneaky one. Now he's still filled with a whole lot of potential, even though he's been a part of a Super Bowl situation and he was a key cog to that back end of that Seattle defense. Very aggressive guy, good tackler, plays the run great, which is something that we needed. That's something that we needed. And if we can get this pass rush together, that will make Coby Bryant and everybody in that secondary a hell of a lot better. Yes, indeed. These guys are the type of guys that the Bears need. Like we can't get crazy and start judging guys before they get into a uniform and get out there on the field, regardless of what they've done or where they've been. They still have to come in here and perform. We have to trust the guys. We have to trust Pose. We have to trust um DA. We have to trust, the guys that's responsible for making these calls and getting these guys in here. So, listen, it's still early. We may get a chance to sign a guy that you really like. Doug G says, unfortunately, that likely means that Byard won't be back, but Brian is a great player. Doug G, not so fast, my friend, not so fast. Remember, we have zero safeties on the roster. The deal that was signed by Coby Bryant is is a pretty decent deal, but I still think we could get Byard in the fold. Now he may go out here and get courted during free agency, which is something that's not unfamiliar with players, especially a player like him coming off a year that he had. But sometimes the grass ain't greener. This is the best year he's had as a pro. I mean, for me personally. And he did it here. He did it with this group. He did it under this coaching staff. Why not just, it's always good to do due diligence, but get to the table. He's an older player. He's an older player, and we'll see. Let me see. I'm looking. Unless Bar can get it under 10 mil. Ooh. I don't think he's taking no discounts tracks, but we'll see. So two the Bears are trying to improve speed along the D line, especially inside. Color. Tough as nails, fast plays, strong. I mean, if you guys look at Gallimore's tape, Coby is 27. Coby Bryant's 27 years old. Yeah, Doug G. Bradbury, we talked about him earlier. I don't know if he was in here with us, but we talked about Bradbury earlier. Listen, steady player, consistent. If he's not right there with Dahlman, he could be a slight upgrade, especially with Dahlman's health issues. That's the thing we have to consider. Bradbury has been healthy. He was good enough to play on the front line that played in against the Super Bowl. Though that offensive line as a whole did not perform very well, he still got there. New England had a hell of a year, and he was snapping the ball to that young quarterback all year long. So let's see what he does with the Bears. And I think Chicago did not really make a splash at center because it kind of shows that the front office believes in the coaching staff, and they also believe in our young quarterback because, believe it or not, contrary to what a lot of people think is true, the quarterback has a responsibility to the O line just as well as the O line has a responsibility to him. Don't let nobody tell you guys different. Um, but one thing about Bradbury, we can say that he's steady. And that's what we don't have to have all pros at every position on the O line. It's not necessary. Track says these are vets that can start and stay the course to push rookies to compete. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tracks, you are on fire today. You are absolutely correct. Come in, compete, and push rookies, for starting positions. Nothing like it. There is nothing like competition. Competition will either bring out the best of you or show that you ain't much. It's up to players to decide how they want to handle competition. But listen, pressure busts pipes, but it also makes diamonds. So, good additions. Yeah. Doug G, since you're on linebacker, I'm gonna tell you some linebackers that I wanted the Bears to look into. They're probably too pricey, but Devin Lloyd is one of them. Devin Lloyd from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh my God. You talking about the combination of instincts and speed. He can tackle in the run game. He also can cover. And from my enemies up north, from the Packers, Quay Walker. Quay Walker is incredible to me. I've always been a huge fan of Quay Walker, and I was hoping that there was a chance to see Quay Walker in the Chicago Bears uniform. I know we gave away we let Edmonds walk, and honestly, whatever's going on with Edwards, I was willing to let him walk too if we were able to. If we wasn't going to damage too much of that cap number to sign a guy like a Quay Walker or Devin Lloyd. Young, youthful, fast, physical ball players. This is what DA and the rest of the guys in Chicago want to have on the football team. Oh, shout out to 150 views. Shout out to 150 views. Listen, for you guys viewing and watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you and welcome. Please like and subscribe. Come in here and let us know what you think about your football team. You ain't got to be Bears fans, but hopefully, you stick in here long enough, we can convince you to be a supporter, if nothing else. What a wonderful time to be alive. Usually Monday suck. Ha! Shout out to Trax. He's absolutely correct. But not a splash, not a lot of splashes, Doug G. Not a lot of splashes, but we rolling right now. We cruising. Put your shades on, let the top back. I don't know what the weather like in Chicago, but it's like 75 degrees where I'm at right now currently. Not to rub it in Chicago, but I'm just saying. Um, yeah, come on in here. Let us know what you think. Let us know. Let's talk about your favorite player. Let's talk about guys that you would like to see in a Chicago Bears uniform. Guys are gonna be moving around for the all the way until July and August. So, this is just the start of it. So let's not get crazy because the Bears ain't going out here giving nobody 40 mil a year. As much as we want them 15, a guy with 15 and a half and 16 and a half sacks on a ball club, it's gonna take some patience and a little prayer. So I hope you guys are equipped to do both. And just stay tuned. Stay tuned. Appreciate it, Doug G. Bears Capo 23. What up? What up? I believe the Bears are going to draft a rookie. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It may not. I think they may draft two, to be honest with you, because this is a very heavy safety class. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. The safety class is heavy and it's full of young guys with speed and can thump. We need some young thumpers, man. We need some guys that can um, be versatile, have the ability to cover and have the ability to tackle as well. We need some young instinctive guys, but they got to be young. Getting old players is for established teams, but free agency is about drafting the young, youthful, explosive guys that can really change a football team. Not in the sense of a microwave type of thing, but more of a slow cook oven, because we want this thing to be sustainable for the long haul. We don't want to like the Khalil Mack situation for him, and I hate to bring people back to that. In 2018, everyone was excited, and 2018 was a long time ago. But that's the most outside of last year, 2018 was the most excitement we had. And it wasn't sustainable because we signed, older player that, eventually got injured and he moved on. He had success in San Diego, but he's clearly not the same guy. He's an older player. So we want to get young players that can roll with us for at least the next 5 or 6 years, 4 or 5 years, I'm sorry. Hopefully we can, double back and re-sign them for even longer. Bears capo. I listen. I love the signings too, though it's early, and it's a lot more to be had here. It's not the end of the world. We got a little money to play with. Let's see what happens. A lot of there's a few people that's upset with the departures of DJ Moore and Tremaine Edmonds. Listen, it's business too. It's business, and that's what we're doing. We're handling business today. Shout out to you guys wherever you're at. If you're at work listening, if you're at home chilling, listening to me and listening to Chicago Sports Podcast, thank you and welcome. Please like and subscribe. We in here talking Bears, and we in here talking Bears free agency. We talking NFL free agency. Like we ain't finna just, we Bears fans, but we ain't gonna cut it short. We ain't gonna cut it short. We're just saying Chicago Bears free agency. But that's what's important to us. Track says that Atlanta signs Zacchaeus. So Zacchaeus goes back to Atlanta. He was with Atlanta before. Good for him. T Fields, what's up? He said 70, huh? It's 70. All right, good deal. Do we want to keep doing that, Tracks? That's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up. Uh, I would say no, because there are a lot of young explosive guys coming out the draft, and there's some explosive guys that's available via free agency that, for what you want them to do, it won't cost a lot of money. Ooh, I'm behind. Jeez. Or you guys just pointed on in here. Yeah, Coby Bryant has allowed the second lowest pass rating among safeties 2025. 4 interceptions, tied with fourth most in the position. The Super Bowl champ sack leader at 7. Absolutely. T Fields understands. T Fields understands, and we've had this talk, off script about how we feel about that big time pass rusher. Um Capo says he don't believe they bring it back, Kevin Byard. Believe Ryan Poles learned from his mistakes. He also believes that he's starting to really cook in the draft. Okay, we'll see, man. We'll see. If you're gonna let a guy like Kevin Byard go, now we know about the age and things like that, but we cannot deny the year that he had. Letting a guy like that go, we have to get someone that's gonna make an instant impact. I was hoping if we were going to let a guy like Byard walk, if that we were going to add a guy like Minka Fitzpatrick, who we all know is an absolute stud in the NFL at safety. But the Jets beat us to the punch, and they also brought a bigger bag. So shout out to Minka Fitzpatrick and shout out to the New York Jets. Track say none of us at work. Hey man, that's between us. But yeah, man, free agency is in the house. One of my favorite times of the year. I love it. I love it. And let's see what the Bears do. Let's see if the Bears can bring enough impact players to join this football team to get us over the hump, to get us to the Super Bowl, and not just for us to make a showing in the Super Bowl, but for us to win that thing. We've seen the stats on Coby Bryant, but understand Coby Bryant was playing and on the back end of a defense that was very physical, very aggressive, and they found their way to the quarterback by any means necessary. So if the Bears are able to add more guys like that, Coby Bryant could actually have a better season that he had in Seattle, believe it or not. Um, Good question, B White. Why replace Byard with a rookie? And if you do replace him with a rookie, that rookie has to be showing up, man. He can't be mid. He has to be one of those guys. If Kyler Gordon stays healthy, he and Coby Bryant are going to be a nightmare for offenses. Dennis Allen has to be salivating at the possibilities of salivating the possibilities. Let me see. To moving these guys around. Absolutely. Dennis Allen, he's good at, disguising things and moving guys left and right, front and back. Yeah, listen, Doug G, I'm with you. Kyler Gordon is important. Like, regardless, if we're gonna get as far as we want to go, and if we want this defense to be as spectacular as we hope it will be, Kyler Gordon has to stay healthy. And the guy that got paid last year, and him in and out of the lineup, as we all seen, the Bears are a better defense with him in, but the fact that he was in and out of the lineup really hurt us as a football team. Maybe some people want to admit it because we had CJ Gardner Johnson and he was very impactful as well. But Kyler Gordon is a very interesting cat when it comes down to playing football. One of the most athletic guys that you would see in a secondary. Not that he's a blazer, but he's quick. He plays with a lot of instincts, and he doesn't get the turnovers that we want. But I think his lack of getting a lot of interceptions is due to the fact that he's so inconsistently he's so consistently in and out of the lineup. But Kyler, what do you guys think of Kyler moving to like a free safety position? It's intriguing. Shout out to Trax for putting that on us. That's an intriguing move, and I think it could work if the player wants to be there. But hell, if he can't stay healthy at nickel, how is he going to stay healthy at safety? Shout out to everybody checking us out. This is the Chicago Sports Podcast. This is the Free Agent Frenzy, NFL Free Agent Frenzy. And we're just tuning in. We're waiting to hear, what the Chicago Bears make, and also hearing about the moves that's being made in the NFL. Now, Doug G says he wonder where trade is going to go. Like I've heard through the grapevine that Henderson is headed to Philly. I've heard that. I've heard that. Don't know how true it is, but I heard through the grapevine. Brian says, watch this before. Brian White, 1087. Brother, please like and subscribe, man. If you haven't already, welcome in. KB says, hell, I think Tyreek should move to safety. Keep going in the slot. Not a bad move either because Tyreek Stevenson does have the ability to play both. Of course, it was at a lower level, University of Georgia as well as University of Miami. He showed skills that he can play on that back safety and also be a very skilled corner. Make or break season for Kyler. Track says he don't think Kyler stays healthy at safety full time. But in different situations, he can line up next to Kobe in the nickel. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, great points, guys. Great points, guys. Y'all get in here. I see you guys watching. Listen, we got a lot of views cracking. I want y'all to get in here and tell us how you feel about the NFL and this free agency period. Me personally, is one of my favorite times of the year. It's very exciting to see where guys move around to because in the NFL, it's not as much movement as the guys in the NBA. Um, NBA and trade deadlines, there's a lot of splash there. But NFL is not so much. But so this is the time, where we see guys, that can make impact on other teams, and hopefully they can make impact on ours. All right, good deal, Brian White. Appreciate your subscription, and you keep talking to us in this chat, man. Tell us who do you want since you've been there, done that, Brian. Tell me who you want on this football team. Who you like to see. Bear down to everyone watching. This is Chicago Sports Podcast, Free Agent Frenzy. I ain't seen no new developments. Anything. This is a real slow free agency compared to years past. This is real slow. But I think teams are becoming a lot more strategic at this time and really doing their due diligence. And that's where I shout out to Ryan Poles for doing his due diligence when it comes down to NFL free agency and guys that he wants to be a part of his football team. Evans to San Francisco. Which Evans? Ho 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 ho. Mike Evans with Shanahan. Whoa, look at that. That's crazy. And we all seen the 49ers. They were starved at that wide receiver position. Got another weapon for Brock Purdy. Interesting to see what's gonna happen to George Kittle. Can he stay healthy? They were pretty good with them away. What those numbers look like with Mike Evans, I wonder. Evans to Frisco. You don't think we should trade our backup quarterback? I don't know, man. If a team is willing to give us a second round pick for Tyson Bagent, the Bears would be very, very, very irresponsible not to take that. I mean, I wouldn't give him up for just about for anything, but if a team comes up with a second or third, gotta love that, don't you think? Yeah, like we ain't gonna give him up for no crumbs. Another bowl in San Francisco. Yeah, that's a good point, Track. Um, Mike Evans with the 49ers is that's a good one. He still has a lot left in the tank. He missed half the season with injury, but he came back and was still a very impactful player. Ooh, I wonder how Baker Mayfield feels about that. But yeah, Tyson Bagent is an interesting one. High third minimum. I agree with you, Doug G. I agree with you. I'm with you when you're right. Um, Tyson Bagent is a valuable commodity, good age, and as long as he's with the Bears, there's going to be an opportunity for the Bears to trade him for draft compensation, and that's kind of it's kind of a luxury that you want to have, especially when you have your starter intact already. So Malik. Speaking of quarterbacks, Malik Willis, excellent story. He's a Georgia. He's a guy out of the state of Georgia. Play high school ball here. 67.5 from the Dolphins to be their starting QB. And if I'm not mistaken, the Packers defensive coordinator is their head coach there in Miami. So it makes a lot of sense. Shout out to Malik Willis for getting the bag. 67.5. Ooh. 45 mil guarantee for Malik Willis. Shout out to him. It's not a very People saying it's a terrible, one of the worst QB classes in the draft. So there's an opportunity for us to get some kind of good compensation for a guy like Tyson Bagent. I wouldn't be so quick to turn it down though, Brian White. It has to make sense. And around the league, we look at Alec Pierce signed a 4-year, $116 million contract. Woo. Um, I wouldn't be so quick to say that, Brian. There's guys that get traded for, because it's all about what you need and how you feel about a player. It doesn't matter if he's undrafted, if he's proven that he can play and there's a lot of room for him to get better and they see potential in the player. And depending on where this team is, they can risk a second or third round pick on a guy with a 2-2 record. It ain't like he's 0-4, you know. And he was 2-2. He was 2-2 playing under a bad team. When he got his starting job because Justin got hurt, the Bears are terrible, and he still managed to go 2-2. So and he's improved. His game has improved. He's he's been able to get better under the tutelage of Ben Johnson, and as he adds more experience, like you never know. Sneaky good move. Matt Cooper says sneaky good move. Lions signing Cade Mays. Yeah, Cade Mays is a very good player. Coop, way to be on that. The Lions signed him. That means he's in the NFC North now. Um, that means the Bears need to make even more emphasis to get a 3 tech or a guy that has no love in his heart on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays to play the front end of this Bears defense. Jalen Carter. Let's go back to that. Now, we can only talk about what we hear around here in these NFL streets. But rumor has it that the Bears, did their due diligence on a guy like Jalen Carter. Now, of course, people are going to say, "Oh, we should have picked him in the draft. We really want him, really liked him." It's not always the case. When guys have these character issues, you will be very irresponsible to still pick a guy like that in the top five. If you're a growing team trying to establish something, because losing doesn't make you can't cover things up on a losing team. Losing having a good player that's dysfunctional on a losing team only makes his dysfunction show more. Notice in Philadelphia, his thing. Oh, breaking news! Appreciate you, KB. Breaking news: the Chicago Bears have signed Devin Bush. Now, not to tell my age, I'm old enough to know when his old man played for the Florida State Seminoles. He was safety. So it's linebacker Devin Bush. Woo. Now, very under the radar signings. Bush is a veteran. Had a cup of coffee with a few teams in the NFL. Still an impactful guy. I think he was last seen with the Cleveland Browns. 3 years, 30 mil, 26 guaranteed. So we all can be. It's safe to say that he will be a starter here in Chicago. So you got Devin Bush, Jackson, and hopefully Sewell comes back healthy, and that's your linebacker core. But you're not going to tell me that the Bears are not going to make a move for a linebacker in the draft. Can't tell me that. I ain't going for it. 3 years, 30 mil. Whew. Mm. I know somebody asked me, was it a chance that if the Bears don't land buyer, is it a chance that the Bears bring Brisker back? I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, Brisker, young player, still has a lot of room to get better, but and he played a hell of a game versus the Rams. I think that was one of his best games that he played. But him coming back here, I don't know. Would you pay him 10 mil? Would you pay Brisker 10 mil? Oh, track got breaking news. What? Devin Bush agreed. 3 years, 30 mil, 21 guaranteed with Chicago Bears. Drew Rosenhaus. Hey, nobody gets his guys paid like old Drew Rosenhaus. Bush from the Jags? I remember him with the Browns. Yeah. Lucky me. Appreciate your tracks for putting me in a position to win, baby. Um, yeah, breaking this news, y'all. Y'all have me in front of here breaking news. I'm always the lucky one to be able to do that, and I'm thankful. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody watching. This is Chicago Sports Podcast. This is Free Agency Frenzy, NFL Free Agency Frenzy, and Chicago Bears Free Agency Frenzy. We bringing new Bears news. Shakari Prayer says he would not. She would. They will not sign Buyer or Brisker if it was up to them. They would not sign either one of those guys. Buyer had such a great year, man. It's hard to say that you don't want a guy like that back, but I do get that. Please like and subscribe if you're new in the building. Thanks for your comment. This is like I said, this is a Bears platform, not just for Bears fans. If you're a new viewer, please like and subscribe and welcome. We appreciate your comment. Keep them coming though. We like to hear what the fans think. And if I'm messing up your name, I apologize. I don't get them all right, but welcome. Yeah, Bears signed Devin Bush. Listen, man, these little signings, man. You know, every successful team doesn't have to have home run hitters, man. Just get on base, move guys around. You know, singles and doubles do just as good as home run. It may take a little bit more time, but this is a very under the radar signing. No one was looking for it. Hopefully, it pays dividends because that's the thing with signings like this. You know, we get to mid-season and the Bears ain't popping like we think they are, then you're gonna have people saying, "Yeah, the Bears went cheap because they signed all these guys and he didn't make enough splash to get guys in here to win, things of that nature." But that's the risk. That's the risk you take. Um, but these are good players. These are good players. So I don't foresee that that what I'm proposing happens. And he definitely has wheels. University of Michigan product, if I'm not mistaken. Um, very instinctive young man. Comes from football pedigree. I agree. Brian is similar level player with room to grow. Um, yeah, you're right. You're right. Listen, I'm down with you on the age thing and drafting the safety day two. Really, I'm thinking about drafting safety day one. I'm not playing. I'm serious. That kid from Toledo is a beast. That safety from Toledo, he's a beast. Got to check him out. And I agree with Brian. Byer deserves to be back. I mean, if it's nothing but a 2-year deal, he deserved to be back in the building. He was very impactful, not on the field, but in the locker room. Listen, having a presence in the locker room is a very underrated thing that most fans do not understand. But that is like for guys that's out there and the people in the know, they understand how important it is to have an adult in the room, for lack of a better term, in these locker rooms. You know, Coby Bryant, he's young, but he doesn't have that veteran persona or that veteran cachet like a Kevin Byard, a guy that's been an all-pro football player, a guy multiple Pro Bowls and has seen a lot of NFL success. That's something money cannot buy. And of course, he's an older player. We understand that, but he deserves to be back with this football team. I couldn't have said that better, Brian. Bush has the third best PFF in all of NFL for a linebacker. And for you guys that know me, know that I'm not the biggest PFF guy, but you have to respect that those guys get paid to do the research and do the homework on these guys. It's not an easy job. I commend them. I'm just not the biggest fan of that, but because PFF, doesn't always tell the whole story. Excuse me. So yeah, listen. Appreciate the views. Appreciate the watching. Appreciate you tuning in. This is D Nice. This is the Chicago Sports Podcast, Free Agent Frenzy, and we locked in, man. This is a very exciting time of the year for every team because everybody's 0-0 now in the process of trying to make their team a contender. Um, so this is an excellent time of the year. What's Devin Bush's 40 time? Uh, I can't remember back then, but I do remember him in the combine. I want to say sub 4.5. I want to say 5'11", 235 pounds, 240 pounds. He should fit good with this group. He was a first round. He was a top 10 pick in 2019. Like I said, he comes from good stock. His father, Devin Bush Sr., was a safety for the Florida State Seminoles. I'm old enough to remember. Telling my age, but I remember him. I remember when he actually committed out of high school to Florida State. Here it is. His son is in the National Football Team, football league, playing for our favorite football team, the Chicago Bears. Now, okay, he had a stint in. He was with Pittsburgh, had a stint in Seattle, and his last 2 years he played at Cleveland. 27 years old, and I guess coming to the season he'll be 28. I ain't look at his birthday. Um, Maybe safe to say, Brian, that the Bears may be keeping Stevenson. Uh, Birthday July 18th. Yeah, so around time training camp, he would be 443. Leap of faith. Shout out to Leap of Faith with the coming in the clutch 443. Leap of faith. If you're new in here, please like and subscribe, man. Glad to have you. Yeah, out of University of Michigan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Top 10 pick. And it probably was that 4.3, 4.4. That got him in the top 10. But if you watched him play, you seen that he's very instinctive. Physical guy. Physical. That's another thing that stands out. Physicality, something that we need. Physicality. Yeah, tracks, I'm old. Yeah. Yeah, Shakari, I'm old, man. I'm old. I'm old. Leap of faith, you won a jersey, man. Congratulations. Yeah, He's 27 now, and it says he's born July 18th. So by the time training camp rolls around, he'll be 28. Please get rid of Tyreek. Ah, listen, in the passing league, Shikari, in the passing league, you have to have as many good corners or as many solid corners or as many solid guys on that back end as you can possibly have. And Tyreek is definitely solid. He's not a trash player. And we are in the passing league. Let's not get it twisted. We in a passing league, and we got some guys coming back from injury. And the unfortunate thing about that, we don't know how they're gonna come back. So we have to keep Tyreek, man. We got to keep him in there. We got to keep him in there. Leap of faith. If you haven't already, sir, please like and subscribe and welcome. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate it. Keep them coming though. Don't stop. Yeah. He was able to make a little impact on that Cleveland Browns defense. 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions, 2 return for TDs. 3 interceptions, 164 yards on those interceptions. 2 TD return. He returned one for 97 yards. So that shows that he still has the speed and he has the instinct. He be trippy sometimes. You're absolutely right, but he's decent. I mean, he's not your 1 or 2. But okay, if we get rid of him, who do we want? Do we want to depend on the draft? Even though this is a good draft for secondary players, man. It's a very good draft. I don't know you guys tapped in, but it's a real good draft for secondary guys. A couple of dudes out of Washington, I was looking at the other day. Very good players, and they fit the body type that Al Harris enjoys. They have that Nation Wright, body type, with speed, good feet. Easy to produce numbers in video on here. But if not Tyreek, who do you want? And what do you think we can get for a Tyreek Steve Stevenson on the open market? Trade wise. What would you like to see us get for him? What do you think he's worth? Let's talk about that. I beg to differ. The beginning of last year, he started out pretty good. He made the impactful play versus the Cowboys that really got us into the groove of that football game and really allowed us to let it rain on that Dallas defense, on that Matt Eberflus defense. Um, hey, this is a good point right here. KB say if he ain't at least decent, how we gonna get rid of him? Who would you want? Yeah, yeah. If he's not, you know what I'm saying? If he's not that dude, how you figure somebody gonna trade for him? And we just don't need to just drop him. Like I said, this is a passing league. We need as many solid corners as we can take. And as you do know, the depth of cornerback, if last year didn't show anything, the depth of cornerback is a huge need. It's a huge need. So, keeping Tyreek is a thing. And, we gotta, unless we're gonna get something for him, and I don't mean like no fifth round pick and all that, nah. If I'm not mistaken, Stevenson was a second round, third round pick. And to trade him for a fifth or something like that, it's crazy. So we need to just hold on to him, just see listen. We have to see if we can find some guys to get some guys in here that can show themselves. Zay Frazier, great pickup in the draft, and we still have Terrell Smith. Like I said, Terrell Smith's coming off of ACL. Listen, in today's time, you never know what that looks like. So Frazier, he had an incomplete rookie season for whatever reason. I hope everything is well and he's ready to perform in minicamp as well as as the year goes on and training camp arrives. He's ready to show what he can do. Um, but we need as much depth at these secondary positions as we can. You know, the ball is thrown all over the place. Oh man, Italian beef? Are you serious? You killing them? You killing you? Hey, I thought I was a savage. A late third or early fourth round pick. Nah, I guess 250 views. Word to tracks. Shout out to everybody that's viewing this. If you like what you see, even if you don't, like and subscribe. Maybe the next time you watch, you'll see something you like. But we Bears fans in here. But we welcome everybody. Y'all can all get in here and holler at us and tell us what you think about free agency. Do you- Track say I'm the secret weapon. I'm the Denzel Washington. Woo. Hey, I wish the ladies think like you, brother. If I can find some ladies think like you, I'm be all right. But appreciate the compliment, Tracks. Shout out to you as shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Y'all been really bringing. I appreciate it. Y'all been really helping me carry this thing through. We rolling though. We rolling. It's more to talk about. You know, hopefully the Bears give us some of that news that everybody want to see. That impact news. Hopefully the Bears hit us over the head with one. But who is it? I hate to go, hate to double back so much, but Jalen Carter is intriguing. Hate it or love it, and for the new people that's viewing and watching, the Bears doing their due diligence on Jalen Carter is nothing but an organization doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah, you didn't get him in the draft, so what? He didn't deserve to be drafted, that high because there's too many unknowns with him. But now you know what you know about him. Would you like to see him on your football team? Would you like to see him on this Chicago Bears football team? Yeah, we seen him spit in Prescott's face. You know, we seen that he had some shoulder issues, but we also seen the level of tenacity that he brings on the defensive line. That can't be denied. And in a position like we are here in Chicago with the football team, I'm gonna say this quietly, but I would love to see him be a bear. I would love it. Leap of faith. I hope you enjoy your jersey. Thank you again, sir, and congratulations again. But yeah, Jalen Carter thing. Got to listen. Would you give up a third for him? Would you give up a third round pick for him? Jalen Carter, would you give up third for him? As bad as you want to say no. If you say no, if you put no in that chat, I would not believe you. I would not believe you. Where we're at as a football team to deny the possibility of us adding a talent like Jalen Carter. Ooh, listen, I have to question your fandom, man. We gotta get those are the type of guys. Listen, every successful football team has a jerk, an asshole that's a part of their club. Now, regardless of where they're at or what position they play, there's an asshole on every great football team. There's a dirt bag on every great football team, maybe more than one. Listen, it's good to have high character guys, but you need a menace, man. You need somebody with a level of savagery on that football field that don't, that in between those lines when the helmet and the shoulder pads come on, do not give an absolute damn about the guy in front of them. Trade being a possibility, as I've said earlier, it hasn't come to fruition just yet. But as I said earlier, Trey is on his way to being Eagle, from what I've heard. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He instantly makes the line formidable. Thanks, Leap of Faith. Appreciate you for your comment. He unlocks guys like Sweat, and he works wonders for a guy like Booker. Hopefully this offseason Booker becomes more technically sound and he can develop some better pass rush moves so he doesn't have to rely totally on his athletic ability and his speed to get around the corner. But if you're able, as a defense, if you're able to get pressure up the middle and you force that quarterback to move to the outside, you unlock the defensive ends and you open up doors for those guys on the edge to get money. You open up, you put the plate out there for those guys to eat. And this is what we need here in Chicago. Like, offensively, those guys just got to get with the program and, all kind of grow together. But defensively, we need some studs that's going to press the line on these offenses that come into our that we face on Sunday, Thursday, and Monday nights. So Jalen Carter being a part of this football team, if the talk is true, like we don't know how true it is, but I'm hearing people saying that, oh, Pose doesn't like him. He passed up on him. Listen, life has nothing to do with this. Life has nothing to do with it. Being a responsible GM and understanding that if you pick this guy and he has to go to jail, you pick this guy in the top 5 or top 10 and he has to do jail time, or it just wigs out in the situation where he has to be suspended and miss time on the field and miss time with and misses out on the chemistry that he can have with his brothers out on the field. That's a terrible mistake. That's almost just as bad as drafting the wrong quarterback, if you ask me. So Pose did an excellent job with that. And 10 times out of 10, he should probably do it again if it ever had came to a situation where he got do-overs in that situation. So, people saying that he didn't like Jalen Carter, no, has nothing to do with it. Like has nothing to do with it. You just couldn't bring Jalen Carter to that Bears team. Just couldn't do it. Because losing only exposes um the rest of the bad things that's going on in your ball club, in your locker room, and on the field. And usually guys that have their reputation and they become part of losing situations, they tend to get worse. So winning keeps guys engaged. Carter's a Super Bowl champion. Um, he's had some very early success with Philadelphia, but if we have opportunity with a third round pick, to add a guy like him, we'll be very foolish not to. Other defensive tackles that's available. Now these are older guys. Two guys from the Minnesota Vikings. That's Hargrave and oh god, I hate when I can't remember these guys. I be having them on my mind, but Hargrave, Hargrave, and help me out in the chat if you can. Older guys. One played with before he came to Minnesota, he played with the Washington Commanders. But they were released from Minnesota. Didn't have any great words for Brian Flores, but that's kind of what losing does. Char asked about wide receiver. Glad to talk about wide receivers. Um, I don't know, and that's being honest. I don't know. I don't know because with the emergence of the tight ends in this offense, it kind of minimizes the importance of us really like landing a high level wide receiver. Oh wow. Okay. In some Bears departure news, Dominic Robinson. You guys remember him? He's headed to Houston. 1 year deal, $4 million. Good for him because he ended up playing decent on special teams, and Dennis Allen was able to get a little bit from him, but not enough for him to come back. I feel like what we got from him we can get from a rookie. But Jonathan Allen is the name. Jonathan Allen is defensive tackle that was released from Minnesota, former commander. That could possibly could come to play for the Bears. You know, a veteran D tackle, but do we want another Asian D tackle? That's a question that we have to ask ourselves. But back to wide receiver. Um, and when you say wide receiver, I'm thinking wide receiver, special teams guy. Now, was was rumored is the little guy from Detroit. That's Khalif Raymond could be a possibility for the Chicago Bears. Um, special teamer, short, fast wide receiver. Um, he could be a possibility to end up in Chicago. Should we place more? Brian Wright says, should we place more or put that responsibility on Luther Burton? You drafted Luther Burton early second round. It's his job. It's his job to lose, and he's going to have competition. So, being able to get a guy like Luther Burton, and he had flashes of like the only issue is him staying healthy. So, Brian, answer your question, Luther Burton is the guy. Now we should draft a wide receiver and possibly pick up, Now don't forget, we got the young boy that caught the winning touchdown versus the Packers. Well, I think it's game time touchdown versus the Packers. Um, Out of Texas A&M. He's earned the opportunity. He's earned the opportunity to earn a spot on this football team, so he can be a consistent part of the offense. And he has a very good friendship with our quarterback Caleb Williams. So we shall see. Jade Walker, yes sir. KB, thank you sir. Thanks Trax. Jade Walker. Yeah, Jade Walker has an opportunity to be the fourth wide receiver, or third wide receiver in this group. But what we have at tight end, which is what Ben Johnson, likes to work through in the offense. The emergence of Colston Loveland, having a heck of a rookie season last year. It really made it easier for us to do a trade with DJ Moore. You know, and like Ben Johnson has told us all, each year is different, and they're going to attack each year differently. So we'll see, but definitely, I always feel like you should draft a wide receiver. You know, something about especially a guy that's speedy and can give you some value on special team because Devin Duvernay came around late last year, but it wasn't enough for me. Like I didn't see the explosiveness. I didn't see the special team instincts that he had so much success in Baltimore with. I didn't see it with us. Um, excuse me. I'm thankful for what he did for us. Appreciate his service as a Chicago Bear, but I think we have to improve in that area. We cannot leave no stone unturned. Special teams is the third phase. along, next to the offense and the defense. So, and it matters. So we have to address that. We have to address it. Looking past it would be irresponsible. Shout out to you guys. Listen, appreciate everyone in the chat. Appreciate everybody getting down with us. Um, I hope I answered the question, your question about the wide receiver. It's still early. It's still a chance for the Bears to make a splash because there's an opportunity for us to find another Zacchaeus. I know some people might not like that because the kids had a hand problem last year. He had a case of the drops, and it was nasty work. Tracks taking Dunkin' Donut orders. Bears will sign 4 players a day with a total of 32 mil in annual salaries, which would mean any more signings would necessitate some restructuring of contracts for sure. Yeah, T Fields, D Rob is out of here. He's in Houston. Good for him. Because I don't think he was gonna get 4 million with us. That means that number 90 jersey is open. That number 90 is open for a stud pass rusher to come in either at the draft or through free agency, come in and wear that and give us about 12 to 14 sacks. So shout out to Dominic Robinson. Way to get your money. And appreciate your time with the Bears. Uh and appreciate you guys for checking me out. This is Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm your host D Nice. And this is Free Agent Frenzy. You guys got anything else? Anything else anybody else you would like to see become a Chicago Bear or any news out there? I'm trying to keep up as best I can, and I appreciate everybody in the chat that's assisting and helping. Cause my mind went blank a few times. What would I do without you guys? I'm very thankful. I don't get the sense of the excitement of free agency like I have in the past, though. It's moving kind of slow. Like, think these GMs and figured out something that you just can't be throwing around money here, there, and everywhere. I mean, outside of the Giants. And for you guys and girls that are disappointed of the Bears' moves today, relax. 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 It's early in this process and things have a way of turning around, but we have to get the substance in here. Oh, so I guess Franklin Myers is signed with the Titans. Big bag, big bag, big bag alert. Good for him. Shout out to Doug G for the news. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Daniel Jones, who had a resurgence with the Colts and ended up getting injured, he rejected $100 million deal. 3 years, 100 mil. 50 per year. That's tough. No, sir, Brian. No, the Chargers brought him back already. We do not, and I speak for a lot of Bears fans. We did not want Mac back, man. If Mac comes back to Chicago, it's for a 1-day deal, and he retires as Chicago Bear, and hopefully we can convince him to go into the Hall as a Chicago Bear, not to be in uniform, not to play. That's not what we want to use our free agency dollars for. We don't want to pay, all this money for 5.5 sacks. Now, an easy comeback for you is to bring up Obidangbo. Yeah, I know, but cool on Mac, bro. He's in the right spot. Harbaugh, hopefully he's gonna take care of him where he can end his career as a Charger. Nah, cool with him being a Chicago Bear. No, sir. Excuse me. With the subject of wide receiver, let's look at the possible guys that could be available at wide receiver. Now, I know we're not going to spend money in this department, but it's just for the sake of conversation. Fresh Scully. Oh, Fresh says we're trying to get younger and faster. That's why we signed Bush. Absolutely. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. I know I may have dragged your name up. I apologize. I'll get better. The more I see it in here, the better I'll get. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate your comment. Appreciate you rocking with us in the chat. Appreciate you watching. Again, this is Chicago Sports Podcast. This is Chicago Bears Free Agent Frenzy, NFL Free Agent Frenzy. We're checking out guys. We're listening out for the latest news of the landing spot of these excellent athletes that we call football players. Um, I got Brandon Ayuk, he's out there. Rashid Shaheed, Seattle Seahawks. Now, this is a guy's a dual threat. Shaheed is able to, he's excellent with the deep ball, and he's also excellent in space. And he has special team ability, which is something that I mentioned before that's very necessary for a football team. The asking price, who knows, but we'll see about it. Mike Evans, we heard, just signed with the 49ers, which is crazy. Shout out to Shanahan and guys. They really getting it done with that. Got it done with that one. Wan'Dale Robinson from the Giants. He emerged last year. Speedy slot receiver, 5'8", 185 pounds. He's gonna look for a bag, most definitely. Jawan Jennings, very interesting prospect. 6'3", 212 pounds. Um, Decent player. Pierce has signed already. AJ Brown, the Eagles trying to trade him. None of these are on the Bears' radar. I think Pickens will be franchised with the Cowboy. So we'll see. On the receiver end, we'll see. But the draft has a lot of them. The Bears aren't a bad team anymore. Making moves and being off-season champs isn't the move. Definitely is nothing. We ought to be tired of that as Bears fans. We ought to be tired of winning the offseason. That's reminiscent of teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars who finally got out of the hole that they were in. But that's an excellent point. Shout out to you for that. Um, yeah, because they got the Giants signed Tremaine Edmonds. Okay, that's what's up. Um, Now they released their leading tackler linebacker, Okereke. If I'm not mistaken, they released him, and I guess they filled this spot with Tremaine Edmonds. Okereke was interesting. I thought the Bears maybe was gonna try to sneak a peek at him and holler at him and try to get him in here. Um, he's a he's a bit older, but he's a good tackler. He can play. He does play well in coverage. So I kind of thought the Bears were gonna try to sneak him on in here. Excuse me. Um, Speaking of sneaking on in here, listen, I repeat, do not be surprised if the Bears try to sneak Cam Jordan into the back door of this football team. Now, Cam Jordan, older player, um, was excellent in his time as a pass rusher. Still has some ability, but we already have Grady here. We're not collecting old antiques. We're not there yet. So hopefully Cam Jordan doesn't make it here. Demario Davis, let's talk about him. Demario Davis, 37 years old, signed a big deal with the Jets. And he was another guy that was rumored to be a Chicago Bear. And I've never went for that one. Signing again. I mean, he's still productive. Yeah, 37 years old, man. We can't waste our dollars like that, bro. We just can't do it. And I would have a real beef with the guys in the front office if they did that. I don't care who our defensive coordinator is. Like Cam Jordan, I don't think, it's necessary that we get him here either. Fresco Ellis, okay, yes, sir. I got you. Told you the more time you come in, I get it. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate your comment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Um, I believe Trax may have a jersey waiting on you, Mr. Ellis. Tap into that DM. Hope he look in the comments. He gonna give you instructions. He may have a jersey waiting for you. Tap in. Um, let's see what else we got here. Early signings for the Bears: DeMarco Jackson, um, Coby Bryant. Want to know what you guys think about these signings? I'm happy with it for day one. I'm happy with it for day one. I know guys was kind of ticked because we wasn't able to land the Max Crosby. After seeing what was offered and was the deal that was made for him, I don't think we're in a position to do that. I just don't. Respectfully. I think we're in pretty good spot, but two first, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. I ain't with it. I ain't with it. But shout out to the Ravens. Shout out to the Ravens. Devin Bush. Excellent low key signing by the Bears. Played for the Cleveland Browns last year. Um, Still showing that he has tremendous ability. 3 interceptions last year for a total of 164 yards, two interceptions for touchdowns, one of the 97-yard variety. So that shows that he still has that speed that he came out of University of Michigan with. Let's see how this thing meshes together. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I really do like the re-signing of DeMarco Jackson. And these guys are not very big guys, but they're guys that play low to the ground with a lot of speed and a lot of physicality, which is something that Dennis Allen wants for this football team, and it's something that every fan should want for this team. But we have to get the guys up front, that can do their job to make everybody behind them successful. Should the Bears prioritize Kevin Byard? I mean, maybe that ship is sell, maybe, maybe not. But he's done too much good last year for the Bears to be dismissive when it comes down to him. But Neville Gallimore, Neville Gallimore signing is a very low key signing. I know when people heard, they were like, who? I know. Listen, even I was. But that's what this is what the information superhighway is for. This is what things like YouTube and other publications on the internet is for. Do your research on these guys. You know, um, Former Indianapolis Colt, former Canadian football player, defensive tackle. which is something that's needed on this football team that we cannot deny as a fan base. We can all agree that defensive tackle was a need. Now, it's a bunch of big names that were rolled around last year, early on into the offseason. And the Bears didn't land those guys. But there's still time. There's still time. And I ask you guys and girls to be patient, with the football team and just let them make moves. Let them make moves and let's see what happens. Shout out to everybody that's been a part of this free agent frenzy. This has been a blast. Things are kind of slowing up. And you know, for all you guys viewing and watching, thank you. Wherever you're watching from, please like and subscribe. I'm D Nice, and this is the Chicago Sports Podcast. And this is the NFL and Chicago Bears free agent frenzy. So welcome. You're all welcome. I say draft and build a kind of honestly, most teams that make big trades for a push aren't the teams winning it at all. Now, two things can be right for the majority, but there's an anomaly in the NFL. That's the NFL. That's the LA Rams. The LA Rams don't give a damn about no picks, but they consistently have good football teams. And maybe that's because they have the head coach and quarterback thing figured out, which I think we do as well. But they have given up tons of draft capital to get the type of team that they've had. And yeah, they didn't win last year, but they did beat us. And they did get a Super Bowl for trading for Matt Stafford as well as other guys. But you know, traditionally, you would like to build through the draft for sustainability, but the LA Rams have been one team that if these picks was a person, it would be, or was a team, it would be the LA Rams. Another low key sign that the Bears did, and I'm glad Mr. Ellis brought this up. Hardy, Daniel Hardy, special teamer, very intense guy, um, lunch pail, hard hat type of guy, plays hard. I'm glad to see that the Bears brought him back. I think they moved him to linebacker, but early on in his career, I wish he got more opportunity to play the defensive end. Maybe because of the size, they didn't want to, go there with him. But they changed the position to linebacker. I'm glad he's back. That's a good sign for me. He's glad to see that the Bears brought him back. I'm glad to see that the Bears recognize the talent that they have in their own backyard, and that's a key thing. That's another thing that is not talked about a whole lot. Most of the great teams, they take care of the guys that's already in their own backyard, before they go reaching out everywhere else. So it's a good deal by Brian Post and the guys for bringing Daniel Hardy back. Bears free agent frenzy. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Any new signings came about throughout the league, not just with the Bears. If you got them, let me know. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. It's early. Let's since we got a little time, let's talk about the draft. Let's talk about the draft. Let's just strictly take a couple of seconds to speak about this year's draft in 2026. Um, I know Trax on the show, yeah, well, last couple of shows Trax did, he done a lot of mock drafts. Who's that one guy at 25 that you don't feel like the Bears should pass on? Who is that guy? Let me know. Who is that guy at 25, based off where we're at now as a Chicago Bears team? Who is the guy that the Bears need to get at 25 if he's available? In your personal opinion, what position is it? Is it the edge? Is it D tackle? Is it safety? Is it wide receiver, running back, old tackle, center? What is the position you like to see the Bears address in the draft? I personally would like to see the Bears, just based off the way it falls, of course. But I've seen people talk about Jeremiah Love, which is oh, it'd be so hard not to draft him, because the talent it just jumps off the screen. It jumps off the screen. And if I'm saying it as a fan, those guys in the front offices all around the league have to be saying the same thing. Dennis Allen's shopping list so far: D tackle, linebacker, safety. Hey, two boxes. Well, really, all three boxes have been addressed today. But I'm sure there's more. There has to be more, right? Has to be. Like we listen, the running back group performed their tail off last season. They did their thing. But just because we had a good season last year in this particular department, do we settle for the good season and not want to make it great? Because in my personal opinion, I think that just Jeremiah Love takes us to another level. Now we understand who Swift is. We understand who Monangai became. But a guy like Jeremiah Swift, I don't think you let that slip. I don't think you let it go by. Isaiah Likely signs with the Giants. Pair him over Jackson Dart, third highest tight end now. Listen, Isaiah Likely has a lot of ability. Um, if you look at him from a physical aspect, big, tall guy with a lot of speed for a tight end. Um, I think he just fell out the shelf in Baltimore. He had some key drops at the end of last season. Um, some knucklehead mistakes, but John Harbaugh is the coach of the New York Giants now, and for him bringing a player that he's familiar with in Isaiah Likely, it's a good job for the Giants. Doug G. Carp running over. Still curious to see where Hendricks lands. Doug G, I hear you. Maybe, hopefully, by some stroke of luck, the Bears find a way to nab him. But I'm hearing that Philly is in the driver's seat with Hendrickson. Don't kill the messenger. Just going by what I've heard. Um, Back to this draft situation. At defensive tackle, there's some very interesting names that could be available at 25. Ooh, now this is a disappointment for me. Breaking news: the Titans have reached an agreement with former Saints cornerback Alontae Taylor, per source. Alontae Taylor was a very intriguing guy. Now I know he has a familiarity with Dennis Allen, but if you watch Alontae Taylor, he fits so well in what the Bears like to do defensively. He fits so well. I was hoping that there was a way that the Bears had was able to get him in the building, but Tennessee doing some things, man. They doing some things. They got their young rookie quarterback, so they got a lot of money to spend. So good for them and good for Alontae Taylor for securing the bag. Um, Peter Woods, D tackle out of Clemson. Very interesting prospect. He's a dirty dealer, man. 6'2", 298 pounds. Definitely blue chip in my opinion. Definitely a blue chip prospect. Coming from a huge program at Clemson. Um, Probably about time he's drafted and if he becomes a Bear, he'd probably be around 310, 315. I think that's what the Bears would like to see him at. Um, Very instinctive, violent. That's one thing I say about Peter Wood. Violent. Violent guy on the line of scrimmage is something that we need here. Very intriguing. Not mad at that one though. Not mad at that one. That's a good pick. Then you got Caleb Banks out of Florida. Katie McDonald, Lee Hunter, Christian Miller, um, Darrell Jackson Jr. out of Florida State. Dominic Orange is another one. Landon Robinson out of Navy. If you get a chance, YouTube's your friend. Check him out. He's decent. Zane Durant. It's throughout this draft. I was kind of hard on this draft early on, um, saying that it wasn't as it wasn't that many players, big time players in this draft, but in certain positions you will be able to find, what you're looking for. Oh, the Titans are on a roll. Titans agree with Cordell Float, 3 year, 45 mil, 32 fully guaranteed. Dabo bringing them former Giants over there. Uh-oh. Um, those are the defensive tackles. At edge, Hakeem Messidor, TJ Parker. These are guys that could be available at 25. Malachi Lawrence, Zion Young, Cassius Howell, which is favorite of a lot of guys, a lot of Chicago Sports Podcast guys. Cassius Howell is a favorite. R. Mason Thomas is underrated. Gabe Yakis out of Illinois. If you have opportunity to check him out, please do. He's a good one. Donnie Dennis Sutton out of Penn State is another good guy. There's some guys to be had in this draft, just to veer off a little bit from free agency. Then you go to the linebacker spot. Anthony Hill, Josiah Trotter with the pedigree. Jeremiah Trotter is his pops. CJ Allen from the University of Georgia. Fast guy. Jake Golday, Dante Lawson, Harold Perkins Jr. If late round, if you're able to add a Harold Perkins Jr., you got you something. You got you something for sure. Cameron Thomas, defensive end, former Browns defensive end. Cameron Thomas reached agreement with the Falcons. 1 year, $3.1 million. Shout out to Cam Thomas getting that 3.1. Shout out to all the guys, all the football players getting that money today, changing their lives, changing the lives of family members, and really getting themselves not only getting paid but putting themselves in a position to be even more successful with a brand new ball club. Shout out to every last one of these guys going through this free agency period. It's pivotal and it's important because number one, you're taking care of your family. You'll be able to take care of your family for the long haul. And number two, you have the power to put yourself in different situations where you can have a bigger impact on winning. So shout out to them. Um, yeah, tracks I do too. I like our safety signs better, but Alante Taylor is a guy that I've had my eye on, and I really like him. I like the intensity he plays with. Um, so the Titans really got one with him. Let's see. Cornerback, just for giggles. Oh, Mariota reads up with the Commanders. 1 year, $11 million deal. There you go. Professional backup. Right on. Mariota, the constant professional, comes in, did a serviceable job when when a young quarterback was out, when Jay Daniels was out. Shout out to Marcus Mariota getting that 11 milli for next year. Yes, indeed, Doug G. Still some room. Still some room. And we here for it. We here for it. We are here for it. A cornerback, looking. What do you say about Nashawn Wright? Let me just go back to free agents for a second. Nashawn Wright, what do you say? What do you think his market is? What is his worth? Anybody hearing anything on what Nashawn Wright could be looking to cash in on in the free agent market? Now I know some of you guys gonna kill me, but I was kind of hoping the Bears would trade Jalen or find their way out of that contract and sign Nashawn Wright to a lesser deal and draft another young stud at cornerback, in the later rounds in the draft. But the impact and the turnover, being able to facilitate turnovers like Nashawn Wright had this season with us was something that we've been missing from our cornerback, from our cornerback side, to be honest, if we're really being real. Jalen Johnson's been hurt. So everyone was saying, it's not who he really is. But in my opinion, I feel like he was, for lack of better terms, kind of over for him. I felt like if the Bears had an opportunity to get off that contract and get younger, they should. All right, Nate. I hear you, Nate. The Bears will have $111 million in available cap space of 27, which is true, with 26 players on the contract. Even after factoring in Darnell's right fifth year option, they will still have a little over 90 million. That's something to think about. But damn, having 25, 26 players that will be under contract, that's a hell of a turnover. Especially if we have the success we plan on, fans and players plan on having at the end of this season. That's a hell of a turnover. I mean, it's still gonna have to be a lot of money and a lot of opportunities for us to get better, but sheesh. Mm. Cutting Jared, Dio, and Edwards would save 37 million combined. Kicking 15 to 20 into 27 is okay. Yeah. Nate, like and subscribe, brother. Welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. Please hit that like button and keep in and keep getting in here with your comments, man. We love to hear what you guys have to say. Um, we love the fan engagement because we all Bears fans and we want what's best for the Bears. We also want to satisfy our needs and wants as well, but unfortunately, Chicago Bears don't work for us. We just fans, but we like to hear what you guys have to say when it comes down to what you guys think that can improve our ball club and get us to that next level. Maybe we have an avenue for us to be mentioned and having a deep playoff run and possibly Super Bowl. Please hit that like button. Don't cost you nothing. Like and subscribe. And this is the Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm your host, D Nice. And welcome all y'all viewing wherever y'all watching from. Thanks for kicking it with us today. We just doing a little free agency. You know what I'm saying? NFL free agency, Chicago Bears free agency. We just in here just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Come on in here and kick it with us. Share your thoughts. Let us know how you feel about this football team and the move that they've made currently and the moves that they need to make in the future. So y'all come on in here. But back to this draft situation. There's one intriguing cornerback out of Washington. His name is Takario Davis. He has the Nashawn Wright bill but I think he has a lot better footwork than Deshaun Wright. He's better, what I'm saying, covering. He looks better covering receivers, than Deshaun Wright. Deshaun Wright had this raw look to him at times, and sometimes, it's a lot of inconsistencies, but he's still able to manufacture turnovers. And, I want to know what you guys feel like Wright market is. What do y'all feel like he's going to get in this free agency? Because I'm hearing some things, but you know, I don't know if it's necessarily be true. But it comes like timing is everything when it comes down to a player getting paid. Timing is everything. Timing, and he has the youth on his side as well. So it's gonna open up the door for guys to really pull up the Brinks truck for him and break the bank because he was a Pro Bowler. Excuse me, he was a guy that was one of the league leaders in facilitating turnovers. That cannot be missed. That cannot be dismissed. You have to respect that. And I think every NFL team that's cornerback hungry will and should. But I want to know what you guys think his market is. What do you think his worth is on in this free agency? Um, and the same for Jaquan Brisker. I've been a little hard. I've been tough on Brisker because I feel like he could be so much better. If his play can match up with the way he talks, he'll be a hell of a player. But what do you guys see his value out here in free agency? Because it's looking like the Bears won't have him back. Um, and I'm hearing there's an outside chance. I'm hearing from you guys that Kevin Byard might not be back. And me and a couple more people feel like that he deserves to be back with this football team. Like it's deeper than just his play on the field. It's a thing where what he brings to a locker room. He has been the adult in the room for the Bears and has done a hell of a job doing so through the times when things were not so great to the great times that were had last year. He was a part of both, and he was a key cog, in settling guys down and getting guys to understand how important they are to the football team. So, to know his market or to what do you feel? Do you feel like the Bears deserve to bring him back, or do you feel like he deserves to be back with the Bears? That's a better question. Me, I say yes, but it's all about the money. It has to be about the money, and front office and players, fans alike have to respect that. He was a great player at an excellent time for him in a contract year, and he deserves to get paid. Just an ordinary clanker. What's going on? How you doing? Welcome to the Chicago Bears podcast. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe. We also like to know your feelings on the Chicago Bears. What direction you like to see them go in this free agency period? Do you like the moves that were made? Let us know something. Appreciate you coming in here and kicking it with us. heavy, heavy free agency coverage. Indeed. Sure, we 2 hours and 15 in, man. Listen, I appreciate everybody that's been hanging on. Doug, I see you, man. You say you weren't gonna be with us long, but you rolling. Glad to have you still. But yeah, Clanker, get in here. Let us know something. Let us know how you feel. Yes, indeed. We did sign Coby Bryant. He's our new safety. Former Seattle Seahawk. Yes, we did sign Coby Bryant. NFL champion Coby Bryant. Not the Black Mamba Coby Bryant. May he rest his peace. But hopefully he has a Black Mamba impact on our football team. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Rudolph. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to have you. Welcome. Welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. Glad to have you. Share your thoughts about the football team. Share your thoughts about the moves that were made today. Share your thoughts about what you think they should do in the future. Thanks for you guys' subscription. Thanks for your likes. Hanging in here with us for a little minute. Let us know how you feel about the ball club. This is a very exciting time, even though things are kind of slow for us anyway. I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed that the big names haven't signed the ink on Chicago Bears paper, but there's still time. I tell everybody, there is still time. I agree with you, Clanker. We should re-sign Kevin Byard. He deserves to be a part of this football team. Now, we ain't saying to sign him for no 4 or 5 years now. No, sir. 2, 3 year deal at max, two really, if we sign and give him a 3 year deal with the ability to cut bait after one. I mean, we probably have to load that first year up in guarantees, but hey, man, the guy impact is felt not only on the football field, but its impact is felt in the locker room. And he was a huge part. He was a huge part of the success of this football team. Yeah, Ben Johnson. We can talk about Ben Johnson. We could talk about Caleb. We can talk about the coaching staff, but Kevin Byard deserves a lot of respect in the way he's handled the situation as being a Chicago Bear. Because one was horrible. The year before was horrible. And then coming to this year and the way it ended, it didn't end the greatest, but the team has been turned around. And I think he plays a significant part in it. And for that, he should be back. Rudolph says should go edge in the first and second round. Need a corner and strong safety within the first 3 rounds. Got to get some O-line depth through the draft too, if possible, and take a flyer on a speedy wide receiver in the draft. Whew. Couldn't have said it better. Mr. Rudolph, thank you, man. You coming in here, you know what I'm saying? You coming in here with guns blazing, man. Listen, you are spot on. I could not have said it better. Thank you. And speaking of speedy late round receiver, I got one for y'all in the draft. I got one for y'all. I got one for y'all, speedy late round receiver. And his name is Deion Burks out of Oklahoma. If you don't believe me, check him out. Deion Burks. He should go in that third and fourth round. I think if he's there, that's an opportunity that the Bears should jump on because he can be impactful playing with the offense, but that special teams, man, running back these kicks, man, kickoffs, kickoff return is back. It was a lot more exciting than it has been in years past. It looked kind of like the rule change was a bit awkward at first, but guys have found ways around it and ways to get to that end zone from kickoffs now. And I think Deion Burks is a very good player and he can make an impact. Clanger says, I feel like Bryant would replace Brisker, and we need Byard's leadership and ball hawk skills. Absolutely. Listen, the two new people are rolling, and they're absolutely right. Spot on, says Doug G. Noah King, shout out to you, sir. The Bears brought in Devin Bush. Yeah, yeah. Noah King, if you're new here, please like and subscribe, sir. Welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. I am your host, D Nice. Welcome. Trax got some treats for you newcomers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing, Clanker. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Thank you. The Bears are waiting to get Trey Henderson. Now, King, Mr. King, I hope you're correct. I hope we are, a little closer than we were earlier. But from what I'm hearing, that the Eagles have zeroed in on Trey Henderson. Who is my top 3 edge targets in the draft? 2 early guys and 1 late rounder. All right. X app is the old Twitter. If you were on Twitter, it's called X now, and that's what Trax is talking about. X app. But edge rushing the draft. My three favorite edge rushers in this draft. One is Zion Young. That's going to be available for us. Lion sign Larry Bourne. Woo! But to answer your question, Rudolph, Zion Young, I like Cassius Howe, but I also thought that Cassius Howe was like made for a 3-4, but the way the game is played, it's a lot of hybrid defense, base defense going around. So Derek Moore, Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State, but Derek Moore out of Michigan. Yaki is out of Illinois for sure, but I think he's a 3-4 guy too. Um, Two super late guys. One is Namdi Tucker, and one real late, and this is all about the rankings. Out of Central Florida. Oh, I'm gonna jack his name up. Najee Kelly out of Central Florida. Man. Um, Namdi Tucker out of Michigan. I know I gave you more than three, but Max Llewellyn out of Iowa as well. But those are mine. Those are the guys I like, and I think they'll be available for us with the Bears. Um, Shout out to the chat. You guys are killing it, and we rolling. Marquise, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. Welcome. Thanks for getting in here with us. Please like and subscribe, Marquise. He says he likes all the pickups, smart deals with faster players, not breaking the bank. Absolutely, absolutely, man. You guys hitting it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Marquise, welcome, bro. Y'all are on it though. Mario Gordon, yeah. Cam Jordan, no. No, respectfully. Um, like what Cam Jordan has been as a player over the years, but I don't think we're there. We have a huge need at the edge position. And for this thing to be sustainable, we need to get young. We have to get young guys that's ready to roll. I don't know what happened, but thanks for this. Listen, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it and welcome. I guarantee you'll love it here. What I miss? Let me see. Let me go back. I'm trying to get to everybody. This fan engagement, this chat engagement, it goes deep, and I want to make sure everybody gets their question answered and heard. But yeah, back to Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan's what, 35, 36 years old. I just don't think that that's what we need now, because money's going to come into play, and of course he wants to get paid. With a lot of these guys, they feel like they got a little bit of ability left. They feel like they can still break the bank. I don't think it's necessarily true for Cam Jordan. That's why I don't think he's a good fit for us. But um, if listen, if the money's right, You never know. But I think he can still play, but for the money that he's going to command and the many needs that we have, I don't think it's worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed the gifts that Trax got for you, the newcomers here. For everybody else that's in here new, please like and subscribe. Shout out to Clanker. Congratulations, Clanker. You're a winner. Doug G. Shout out to you for hanging in here. Noah King says Cam Jordan won't be a choice for him either. Not for our defense, absolutely. Shout out to you, Clanker. Congratulations. How do I feel about the running back position? B White, this is a good question, Brian. I like the running back position. I like where we at running back. I like it. Am I just head over heels in love with it? No. But it paid dividends last year and it did pretty well. But I do think it's a lot of room for us to get better with the way we handle the running back position. And I think because there was a conversation earlier talking about if if Jeremiah Love was there at 25 as a Bears, would you like the Bears to take him? I was torn, but based off of whatever's available and what we can get later on, I'll close my eyes and press that draft button, and I take him because he's explosive. He's awesome. Doug G says the running back room is fine. I agree, it is fine, but can we get better than fine? Or is that being greedy? Is that asking for too much to be better than fine? I don't think so. I think this is an opportunity for the Bears to shoot for greatness at every opportunity that they can get. Any opportunity to get better at a position, you should take advantage of it. Terrence, shout out to Terrence Mafia. Good you in here, brother. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We spoke about Jalen Carter earlier, but I'm gonna tell you what I think still. If the Bears have a chance to land Jalen Carter with a third round pick from Philly via trade, I'll do it every day of the week. Because what he brings to a defensive line with the way he approaches the game, unmatched. And I think the Bears need guys like that up front. Terrence Mafia, hope you like, subscribe. Marquise, appreciate your subscription, brother. You say you're gonna wear your jersey every day, huh? Hey, enjoy that jersey. Enjoy that jersey. Congratulations on winning that again. Think we should go Clanker thinks we should go defensive line in the draft. It's a lot out there. It's a lot out there for us too. At edge and defensive tackle. And it's some mean young guys out here on this D line in this draft coming out the draft. So I'm not mad at that either. Kevin Marshall, shout out to you. Welcome. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Welcome to Chicago Sports Podcast. I am D Nice, and we talking free agency. This is NFL free agency. And this Chicago Bears free agency frenzy here in the Chicago Sports Podcast. We're dipping into the draft as well. We just shooting it. We just kicking it. We kicking it in here. Talking about Chicago Bears football. And welcome. Thanks. What strong safety Rudolph asks do I like in draft free agency? Well, the safety that I'm absolutely head over heels with is a couple of them. This safety class in this year's draft is heavy, man. It's heavy. But Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo is one that I think if he's there at 25, you can't pass him up. He's one. AJ Halsey is interesting. He comes from a school that's very strong with their secondary at LSU. Kamari Ramsey. Kamari Ramsey is a rangy guy. Knows how to has a nose for the football. Lewis Moore as well. Lewis Moore had a very impressive playoff run with the Indiana Hoosiers. Bud Clark. Bud Clark is nice. VJ Payne, guy to Kansas State. He's another one of the guys. He should be a late round pick, but he's another guy that's versatile, great size, very good speed, physical, and can cover a little bit. Those are the guys I got my eye on. Cole Wisniewski out of Texas Tech. Texas Tech got some dogs coming out in this draft at all the good defensive positions. So, and Xavier Wankpa from Iowa. Those are the guys that I've taken a look at, and just off of my first 5 or 6 list. Those are the guys that kind of jump off the screen for me. Um, Still cannot find that X account, and I think that X account is Chicago Sports Podcast, if I'm not mistaken, Rudolph. Antoine Mallett, shout out to you. J Love all day. If you're available at 10 to 25, that's what you want. And if you new, Antonio, if you new here, please like and subscribe, bro. Welcome. Noah King. The Bears are building a Super Bowl team. I agree with you. It's not, this is the early stages of this thing in free agency. So it's not necessarily how you start, which I think the Bears are off to a pretty good start, but how you close this thing out and how you put the cap on, and how you put the finishing touches on building this football team is what makes all the difference in the world. And most importantly, how these guys perform on the field. Antonio says, I wouldn't take Carter. We passed on him for a reason. And I understand your gripe, Antonio, but I'm going to tell you why we passed on him. We passed on him because, number one, he was an unknown. And, we knew what he did at the college level, right? But at the college level, coming into a situation like being a top 10, a top 5 draft pick, we still don't know what you're going to do in the pros. There's been plenty of guys that ate it up in college and got to the pros and could not pan out. And these red flags just really took over them, and they ended up fizzling out the NFL. Jalen Carter had some real tough accusations on him coming into this draft and didn't know which way that thing was going to go. So that's the reason why he was passed on. He wasn't passed on because of his ability on the field. The things that he was being a part of off the field was the thing that allowed helped Ryan Poles make the decision to pass on him. So it's not like the player himself wasn't like. It was just his actions outside of football, you know, was not worth taking the risk for. And just being absolutely honest, the risk it wasn't worth taking at that time. But if you have the ability to get a guy like Jalen Carter for a third round pick, you'll be absolutely out of your mind not to jump on that, especially in the position that the Bears are in now. The Bears have more leadership now than they had when they had the opportunity to draft this young kid. The Bears are a better football team now than they were when they had the opportunity to draft this guy. So things are different. Now, it can be questioned on how different the Carter outside of football is, but there's no denying his talent on the football field. But I respect your decision. Getting the jersey, I think Trax is gonna mail it to you. He will put the details in your DM once once he contacts you and lets you know you won. Tony say we gotta go DT at 25. Uh, I see where you at, and you're not wrong. I don't think there's any wrong answers, at this point at 25. At 25, you honestly want to get the best player you can at that number, regardless of position. I mean, especially if it's there at a position of need. What about the boy out of Oregon? What boy out of Oregon? Which boy out of Oregon? Let me say that. Oregon got a lot of boys, a lot of boys. So what we talking about? And I'm sure it's down here somewhere. Okay. Okay. Got you. The safety out of Oregon. Not a bad, listen, not bad. You know, I believe he was in Purdue first, so he does have some Midwest in him. He understands how to play in cold weather and play nasty football. Um, I like him. I mean, I don't necessarily like him over the other guys that I talked about, but I like him. He's a baller. He's a baller. He showed out in the combine, very impressive 40. Um, and if you look at him on tape, he's tough. He's gotten better with the ball skills. He will come down and hit you. Everything you want from a safety that he has. So nah, like I said, not a wrong answer when it comes down to the Oregon safety. Mm. Rudolph says Jalen Carter, Tennessee. Ah, that's why I'm putting him. Okay. All right. Appreciate it, Antonio. Appreciate it. Peace. Clanker says, I feel like we need depth at center since Dahlman retired. Absolutely. Bradbury is a good addition since the Dahlman retirement. And I do think that we will address the center position in the draft. Someone that can grow with this football team, grow with the age of this football team, and grow with our extremely young quarterback. Yeah, he definitely has issues. Again, issues off the field. That's why we passed on. You're absolutely right. It doesn't seem like they changed. The spitting incident was nasty. Carter to Tennessee again. Hey, way to put us on there, Rudolph. What did they give up for him? Only if we get the comp pick, huh? That comp pick in the air, man. That comp pick is in the air. That comp pick is in the air, and I believe we'll eventually get it. Well, let me just say I hope. Definitely would draft the center, but I do not want to go into the season with a rookie starting at center. I don't want to do that. I don't think it's wise. I don't think it's wise. I don't think it's wise to draft a center. Well, I'm sorry. I don't think it's wise to start a rookie at center if we don't have to. But yeah, drafting the center is definitely the priority. Definitely, it should be. I know those guys up front understand that. And they may feel like they have the answer at center in house as well. Remember, the interior lineman that was drafted and picked up by the Bears over the last couple of years. But going into the year with a rookie center, I'm not in love with that notion. Um, Couple of centers that are on my radar is Hike out of Kansas State, Jake Slaughter, James Brockemeyer. There's another one out of the U. The University of Miami, the reason why they got to where they were that far in the championship game, they had one of, if not the best, offensive line in college football. Um, yeah, those are a couple of names. Connor Lew as well out of Auburn. He's nasty. He's nasty, nasty, and that's what you want up front. You want some nasty guys. But Bradbury is very good. I think him and Dahlman, they right there. I don't think it's much of a gap in talent. It's just Dahlman has the health issues, and that's something that kind of reared its ugly head throughout throughout the season when you seen Dahlman with the penalties or just being manhandled up front. I think he was having issues because he had back surgery. Listen, I'm a guy that had back surgery, so I understand how that works. Now, imagine being an offensive lineman coming off back surgery. Yeah, it's nasty work, and It showed with Dogman throughout the season. Bears re-signed Case Keenum. That's what's up. Love it. Love it for Caleb. Love it for the QB room. Case Keenum is a guy with experience with a bunch of different offenses. He's a teacher, for the young QBs that we have when Tyson Bagent and Caleb Williams. Glad we were able to bring him back in. Glad he was wanting to come back because I know at one time he was thinking about retirement as well. So I'm glad he's back for another season. Um, Excellent to have. Excellent to have. Can't argue with it. Shout out to KB for the news. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, in here. Holding me down. What's the compensation for the Jalen Carter to Tennessee though? And does that mean that with Carter going to Tennessee, does that mean that Simmons is available? Does that mean Jeffrey Simmons is available? Because the Titans is putting pen to paper on these guys, man. The Titans is rolling. Guess that's what it is when you got that young QB, man. Got a new head coach. He's trying to establish a different identity. Oh, you seen nothing on that trade? Luke Newman is a guard and center. Yes, indeed, Antonio. So it's a possibility that, they could be grooming him. Excuse me. They could be grooming him. Like, these are the things that we all have to take into account when at this time of free agency. Yeah, Luke has shown that he can play at this level. He has shown. Now it's all about the opportunity. Hopefully that he can grow into an opportunity with us. No one has to get significantly damaged or hurt for him to play. But we'll see. We'll see. But the center that we added from New England and Minnesota was not a bad play. I know everybody wanted the guy out of Baltimore. Everybody wanted him. Hell, I wanted him, but that boy got 81 million for 3 years. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You can't do it like that now. And shout out to him for getting the money, but we couldn't pay that. We couldn't pay that. We're not in a position to do that. Like, we got too many holes to fill. And nah, if we gonna do it like that, we might as well sell the farm and just go after Myles Garrett. Give him Willis Tower and a piece of Lake Michigan and get Myles Garrett here in Chicago. Yeah, we still got Ryan Bates, huh? Lucky us, huh? The Lions make a move for the first time today. Yeah, I heard they got Larry Bourne. They lost an impact guy on defense, Angeloni. Did I say that right? He went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Angeloni, on linebacker from Detroit, who made a lot of plays for those. Gathered a bunch of tackles this season. He's now gone. He's out. He's out of Detroit. He's into town. He's in Tampa. So that should hurt their defense a little bit. Now they've done a pretty good job with drafting players, so I'm pretty sure they'll be all right with replacing who they lost. But with this free agency window open and it being so early, there's still time. Yeah, Bradbury is better in the pass game. We all know that. But again, he has support with the other guys up front. He ain't got to block all five guys on his own. He just has to do his job. And New England ran the ball pretty good. I mean, I know we talking grades and stuff, but we just talk about what we seeing on the field, Tonyo. New England ran the ball damn good, man. They ran the ball damn good with those two backs. They ran the ball damn good, and the quarterback, he noticed trouble and he got the hell up out of there too. So, Scenarios are different, man. All I know that he was good enough to get to the Super Bowl with, and the year before he was good enough to win 14 games with. Who am I as a Bears fan to say that that guy's not good enough for our team? You know, there of course there's other factors to why New England got to the Super Bowl, but he was a part of it. He played the most important position on the offensive line, which is the center. And he was there every game. He did his job, and it got to the Super Bowl. Hard to argue with that. Hard to argue with it. So let's see what happens when he gets here. You know, the word is that he's not really a good run blocker, but if you passing the ball good enough, you'll be able to run it. Trust me. Indeed, no, good move for us for sure. Yeah, we know how Larry Bourne plays. They do in Miami too. He wasn't good enough for Miami, but Detroit felt like they were good enough for them. Salute. All the way to the Commanders. Oh, what's the numbers on that, Doug G? If you find it, let me know. You know, I'm always intrigued with what you got, man. I'm pocket watching. That's what they call it. I'm pocket watching. It's interesting for me to see what these guys kind of quality boy again. Yes, indeed. The Bears will be definitely looking for an impact edge in the draft, regardless if they sign one off the street or not. What's that always number? We waiting on Doug G to bring this always number. We got to see this. It's a big bag, huh, Doug? Can't lie. One Darren Price in the middle rounds. Not a bad. Listen, you're not wrong. There's no wrong answers, bro. You know, Darren Price is shown to be a hell of a running back right up the road at Notre Dame. Had very much impact, just like Jay Love did. You know, I don't think you can go wrong. You know, especially with the position we're picking in. Yeah, the QB did. He ran his ass off. But it was necessary. You know, our QB, if he got to run his ass off a slide too, I suggest you do so. Shot Town Ray 79. Did you find out Jalen Carter mail, bro? Nah, I ain't listening. I didn't hear it. I heard the rumors of him going to Tennessee, but I ain't hear nothing else. I'm interested as hell because I want to see what they gave up for him if this is true. You know, I'm not calling nobody a liar, but I ain't seen that nowhere. But maybe it's in the works. Maybe. But I'm interested in the conversation. I want to see what the Bears chose not to give for him if they did actually trade him. It's real interesting that the Eagles let the edge rusher go and then let him go at the same time. I know they were deep on the line, but damn, two impact guys for you just to let go like that. It's a little crazy. But yeah, I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt for that mathematics shot time raise. Listen, if you ain't subscribed yet, jump on in here with us, man. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for the comment, man. Keep it going. Keep chatting with us for as long as you can. We got time. We just hope you do. And if anybody out there got that math on Jalen Carter, please show it. Please show it. Please share it. Don't keep it to yourself. But if there's a world where we can add a talent like Jalen Carter, and it ain't going, we ain't got to, sell our soul for him. I think we should take advantage of that. So you can call it desperate, but I'm cool with that. we are in a desperate situation with the with our position at D tackle, and he's a hell of a player, hell of a player. You know, now the things off the field, you know, the nastiness and stuff like that, the spitting and stuff like that, you know, there's nothing you want, but the ability on the field, and I guess that's I guess it goes hand in hand, but shit, KB. The Bears do not get the comp pick that we should have gotten for Cunningham becoming GM for the Falcons. God damn it. All right, Rudolph, no sweat. Drive home safely, brother. Okay. All right, Tonio. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate the chat for coming in the clutch. Thank you guys. Appreciate all the engagement. You know, you guys are the reason why we do this. Again, I'm D Nice, and this is Chicago Sports Podcast, and we're talking NFL free agency, and we're talking Bears free agency. This is free agent frenzy, and we rolling. No comp picks, Doug G. Yeah, that's insane. I would love to hear the explanation, but okay. We got you, Tony. I appreciate it. Do we re-sign Byron Kobe? I think Kevin Byard deserves to be on this football team. I truly do believe that. What the guys up top think, they ultimately they make the decisions. But Kevin Byard deserves to be a part of this football team, and I will be a little bit low if he's not given a 2-year deal or something. You know, too much of an impact. He just brings to him being an adult in the room. It pays dividends, man, and you know you can't get that from a lot of guys off the street. Kobe's a young, still emerging talent, and what he will be for the Bears was yet to be determined. We know what he was for Seattle, but we also know what Seattle was for him. So Kevin Byard deserves to be a part of this football team. I'm standing on that. Okay. Carter's still an Eagle. That's what's up. Hey, no problem, Rudolph. Listen, at this time of the year, we're going to hear a whole lot of stuff that might not be true. And that's perfectly fine. Appreciate your engagement, brother. Don't worry about it. We ain't tripping. Shoot, we just trying to see where we can fit in at as Bears fans. We trying to see what the Bears can fit in at. We trying to see what Bears didn't want to give up for him, if that was true. But if he's still an Eagle, that means there's still a chance. So it could be some talk, could be some chatter going on. It could be some phone conversations, could be some emails sent, could be some texts sent. We don't know, but we will know when it happens, just for sure. So don't worry about that, man. We all in tune to the chatter. That's what this thing is about. You know what I mean? It ain't until these guys put ink to paper until we know that it's real, or until they agree to put ink to paper. So yeah, don't even trip, Rudolph. It's all good. Yeah, free agent frenzy. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for everybody getting up in here, chatting, rocking with the Chicago Sports Podcast. Um, Appreciate the chat, holding me down. Teamwork makes the dream work, and y'all have definitely been, holding me down and helping me out. Nah, Trey Henderson to Dallas. I ain't heard that one either. But what I heard, and I might be apologizing to everybody later on too. But what I heard, Trey on his way to Philly. Yeah, I'm not one to like to spew misinformation out there, but I'm a pretty reliable person and told me that strong chances of Henderson going to Philly, and I think it was to the tune of like 66 million. Let me know if that sound right to you. Oh, okay. Uwe signed for 100 mil. God, get that bag, young man. Get the bag. Rumble, young man, rumble. 100 mil from the Washington Commanders. Woo. Dafe Uwe. 4 years, 100 mil. 68 guaranteed. uh, they still see potential. 38 tackles, 7.5 sacks. 27 years old. First round pick of the Ravens in 2021. Was traded last year to the Chargers from Baltimore. Parlayed that to $100 million, 68 guaranteed contract from the Washington Commanders. Good for him. Whoever his representation is, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Ooh, the bag work is incredible around here, man, this time of the year. Shout out to the Commanders making noise, bolstering up their pass rush, which was definitely needed. Day one tampering period. We rolling. It's going crazy too. For sure, for sure, for sure. Appreciate you, Tony. Oh man, like I said, listen, your efforts are not going unseen, brother. Appreciate you. And I appreciate you holding me down because I can't keep up. It started out slow, and I stayed slow with it. But it started to ramp up and pick up, and it seemed like these bags getting bigger and bigger, man. These young boys getting paid. Shout out to them. We about 30 minutes into free agency anyway, and this is Chicago Sports Podcast Free Agency Frenzy. I am D Nice. Welcome. If you new, please like and subscribe. Get on in here and kick it with us. We talking Bears free agency. We talking NFL free agency. We talking about Bears draft too. We getting into a little bit of everything on here. So appreciate y'all in here kicking it with us. This is for Bears fans by Bears fans, man. This platform is, what I'm saying, for y'all. And I'm glad to have y'all in here for the ones that choose to be a part. If you new, you like what you see, like and subscribe. Get on in here with us. We rolling. I got about 30 more minutes in here with you guys, man. Let's make it count. Gotta go pick the kiddies up from school. Let's make it count. Let's make it count. Again, shout out to everybody in here that has made this free agent frenzy enjoyable and bringing y'all input and picking me up where I fall short. Thank you guys. The chat has been buzzing. Appreciate y'all tremendously. Things may have not went as well as some may think, but it's going pretty well in my opinion for us here and for the Bears. Okay, let's see some. Cooking boots. 1057. Bears need to get Carter. I could not agree more, sir. I could not agree more. Carter will bolster this D line like you wouldn't believe. Cut Tez next offseason. Yeah, possibility. Still looking like it's between the Bears and Cowboys for Trey. Okay, appreciate you, Tonyo. Appreciate you. Bears and Cowboys. And I think these moves that the Bears are making, like Trax mentioned earlier, these moves that the Bears are making seems like they're setting up for a big splash. Whether that be somebody like a Jalen Carter or Trey Hendrickson. But remember that I said, and like I said, I could be apologizing later on. But from what I heard, that Philly is, you know what I'm saying? They in there with Hendrickson. So, but this that time of the year. There's a lot of things being said. We ain't gonna know until we know for real. So all we can do is stay tuned and stay locked in. Appreciate y'all staying locked in with me and us here at the Chicago Sports Podcast. Again, I'm D Nice. Appreciate y'all locking in and getting in here. We talking free agency, a little bit of draft. We talking Bears for sure though. Sprinkled in with the rest of the NFL. So welcome and appreciate y'all coming in here. For the new people, like and subscribe. We rolling. Free agency frenzy. I'm sorry. But yeah, Antonio, thanks again, man. Thank you. Thank you to all y'all in the chat. But again, Carter would be lovely. Now hopefully, it's gonna be a gamble. If the young man can have his head on straight and really, what I'm saying, produce on the football field, be great. You know, um I'm not mad at Poles for not drafting him initially. I'm not mad at him. And I don't think nobody else should be um tight with Poles for not, making that pick, making him the pick at that point in time. It's deeper than just, picking a guy when you picking in that top 5 or 10. Looking like the Bears are looking at James Pierre, cornerback from Pittsburgh. Okay, okay. So with that, looks like Nation Wright might be out of here if that's the case. I mean, which we probably could guess anyway. James Pierre, Deerfield Beach, Florida, Florida Atlantic. Cousin of Lamar Jackson. Bet you guys didn't know that. Pittsburgh Steeler. Um, 6-year vet. Looks like he may be a special teamer. Look like he's a special team guy. Could be. Or just an added depth piece. Just an added depth piece, which is something that's much needed. Oh, lucky guy. Shout out to you, lucky guy. Thanks for coming in and letting me know that. Pierre went to Minnesota 4 hours ago. Okay. Hey, we ain't tripping though. Look, we just all trying to help, be informative, bro. Lucky guy, shout out to you. Lucky guy 930, shout out to you, brother. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And welcome to Chicago Sports Podcast. I am D Nice. But shout out to you, hey man, ain't nobody did nothing wrong. Yeah, shot time raised. We got to the bottom of it. But yeah, we all just trying to figure this thing out, man. And for the Bears to be able to do due diligence, the Bears probably did some due diligence on them anyway. So listen, this is free agency. There's a lot of things being said, a lot of people moving around, a lot of mumbles. You know what I mean? We don't know what's true until pen his paper and these guys sign. But again, I'm in here with you guys at least till about 5 o'clock. If anything new comes up during that time period, I'll be back on here and we can do this again. Yes, we are all Bears. Yes, indeed, lucky guy. Let's go. And if you haven't, again, please like and subscribe. Thank you for your thank you for your contribution to the chat. And if you got anything else to add, sir, please share. Share your thoughts on the next move the Bears need to make, either through free agency or the draft. Let us know what you would like to see the Bears do. But hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I guarantee you'll love it here at the Chicago Sports Podcast. Very interesting free agent day. Couple of surprises. You think Jalen Carter will behave in Chicago? Lucky guy asked. This Bears team, yes, I do. I think he behaves well with this Bears team. I think so. He's always gonna have a level of nastiness. He's always gonna have a level of nastiness, and that you do not want to strip away from, especially with the position he plays. Nah, Swift don't hit free agency this year, bro. It's next year, I believe. I believe it's next year. I think we got one more time around with Swift, and I think we'll be making a decision at running back then. I'm with a lot of you guys. Last year, I was ready to move on from Swift and bring Genty in here, but the Raiders drafted him first. Swift did his thing last year. He played well. He was available for the most part. He was a threat in the pass game as well as carrying the ball between the tackles, outside the tackles. He did an excellent job with us last year. He was an excellent player. Can we get better? Absolutely. I think we all should strive for better. Him and Manungai did very well with us, but if there's an opportunity for us to get faster, more explosive at that position, will be insane not to take advantage of that. But until then, I'm rolling with Swift. Two of the ATL. Congratulations to them. So we can't even try to trick Atlanta to trade for Tyson Bagent. They signed Tua, which is, another opportunity that Tua has to kind of reinvent itself. He has some struggles. It started out a little strange in Miami, but he ended up having a couple of good years, and those concussions, taking those hits. Now the question is, can they protect him in Miami? We'll see. I mean, in Atlanta, we will see. We will see. So good for Atlanta. They found a quarterback because I think he will be the star. I don't think Michael Penix start the year with Atlanta. I'm just saying, I don't think so. Yeah, yeah, the goal line carries. But I also think the play calling on the goal line was a bit questionable as well. And that was not just the Rams game, but that was, through times throughout the year. Calls on the goal line was a bit play calling on the goal line was a bit shaky. Like it seemed like that they were trying to um get the passing touchdowns up for Caleb, in those goal line situations. So, it kind of was funny on the goal line, with the play calling. But you're right. You're right. But listen, the opportunity to bring a more dynamic running back in here, however, through draft. Now, I don't think you go out here and just drop a bag on a running back that's available. Not a crazy one anyway. But if you can get a guy, price, Love in the draft, or excuse me, it's some others out there that's interesting. If you have an opportunity to get these guys, don't just sit on being good. Strive for greatness. Strive for greatness. Like that has to matter. It has to. Being great has to be your goal or a goal. So, we'll see. Um, Swift and Mononga, like I said, did that thing. Maybe Mononga comes back more explosiveness. Can you picture that? But building a great team is a process, and we are in the first quarter. We are in the first quarter of that process. So gotta exercise some patience. Got to be patient. Now I'm gonna tell you an intriguing running back since we just talking running backs, and we mentioned Price and Love. Two, three. And I'm gonna put these as a combination. Singleton and Allen out of Penn State. Two, I think they're gonna be two very good NFL running backs. Will they be first rounders? Probably not. Third, they'll probably go late. We already spoke on Price and Love, but Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska and Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. I love and those other guys. Like last year, Singleton was a guy for me that I like, but Mike Washington Jr. is mean, bro. He's mean, and he ain't no little guy either. But he has a good combination of size and speed. Tony say he never wanted Genty. I think I was the only one who wanted Coastal Loveland. Yeah, hey boy. From the beginning, hey boy, you are not lying. Cause that Coastal Loveland pick had me scratching my head, bro. It had me scratching my head. So hey, but it turned out to really work out, and it's worked out very well. And I'm looking for nothing I'm looking but for nothing but great things from Coastal Loveland from this point on. Yeah, man, check him out. Mike Washington, man, check him out. Antonio says, yeah, a few times being overthought. So yeah, yes, indeed. Just got a little too cute on the goal line. Got a little too cute on the goal line situations, man. And that's, you know, those don't come back to bite you to the end of the game. When you look at that scoreboard and you may have lost by 5, 3, 4, or 6. And you realize the time when you settled for a field goal when you could have got a score, but you was being too cute on the goal line. And again, that was a rookie coach last year. Learning experience for sure. Tonio, I ain't mad at you saying that Genty is not that special, but the things he did in college football at Boise State, can't deny it, bro. Can't deny it. You just cannot. You cannot deny that. To all the new subscribers today, please inbox Chicago Sports Podcast on X. And subscribe on X and subscribe. Please subscribe to us on X as well and like the show. Win a newly Devin Bush jersey, man. Already, you'll be the first one. You jump out that thing clean with a Devin Bush jersey before minicamp. So for the new people that like and subscribe and join us today, here at Chicago Sports Podcast. Go to X, like and subscribe on X, and get an opportunity to win the Devin Bush jersey. Hey, we giving out gifts and everything. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. This is Chicago Sports Podcast. Welcome to everyone watching, wherever you're watching from. Thanks for being a part of this NFL free agency frenzy, Chicago Bears free agency frenzy, however you want to dress it up. We are Bears fans in here, but again, to join this thing, you don't necessarily have to be a Bears fan. Just be a fan of the league. Let us know how the other side of the world thinks. So let us know how the people on the other side of the NFL world thinks. You are all welcome here. And maybe y'all stick in here long enough, and y'all might nick some blue and orange. Take some of that with you when you leave. But come on in here and like and subscribe, and let's talk some football. Let's talk some free agency. Let's talk about the exciting things that happened to your team today. I know what's happened with ours. I kind of disagree with you, Antonio. I think playoffs was a goal. I think so. Now, if you're looking at a rookie coach, looking at all the fresh stuff that was going on around us, it may have looked as if we weren't supposed to make it. But if you look at the year before, we were being in a ton of a ton of close games. That way, if we had better coaching, we probably would have won. Just think about it. Like we were 4-2 before that damn Hail Mary and shit fell apart. So to say that we wasn't supposed to make the playoffs, I can't agree with that. Now, winning the division, that's something different. But making the playoffs, I think, there was a window for us to make the playoffs, bro. And for you newcomers, we want you to know, we run shows every night of the week, and you guys will be responsible of the growth of this platform. It's free, win free Bears gear. You know what I'm saying? Get more information on your favorite team if the Bears are your favorite team, or we can just talk NFL football in general. We ain't just got to, you know, um, just stick on the Bears. We talking football, baby. Yeah, it's a bummer, lucky guy. No comp picks. It's crazy. Now it's time to win the Super Bowl. Listen, Noah King, you're absolutely right. The statement was made by making a playoff appearance. And just to go back, because I watched that game again, and as much as it hurt me versus the Rams, I watched it again um the other day, and you just seen how electric Soldier Field was, man. That atmosphere was unmatched. You can't, I just don't think you get that anywhere else in the NFL. When Chicago is a contender, when Chicago Bears are a good football team, the NFL is a better place. A Packer fan will tell you that. Every night, man. Every night. We run content every night. Minshew to Arizona. Not bad. But I think Arizona has the guy there already. You might as well give him a chance. Let him finish out. Because he played very well last year. Um, the young man in Arizona, he's a journeyman, but he's a constant professional, and he played his tail off in Arizona. Um, Putting up some immaculate numbers. Now, it didn't lead to no wins, but as far as passing the football, he did his thing. He did his thing. Um, Even he was limited. His weapons were limited. He still showed up every Sunday and did what was asked of him. Gardner Minshew is not better than that guy. He's not better than that young man. He's not better than him. Mr. Jacoby Brissett. He's not better than Jacoby Brissett. Lucky guy, Brissett was smoking. You hear me? He was going crazy, man. Like I said, it did not, it did not meet up with a bunch of success as far as winning. They were 3-14. Um, but Brissett was a constant professional, and he came in there and went to work every Sunday. He put his hard hat on and went crazy. Yeah, they cut Kyler Murray. Now, it didn't matter what weapons he had during the week. He knew he was going to have McBride, and he rode with it because they were not running the football very well after Connor went out with injury. And when he got into the game, he just, listen, let it all hang out, man, and he balled out. So Minshew going to Arizona should not change what's going on, especially with Jacoby Brissett playing quarterback for that football team. Just simple and plain. But we seen the free agents that were signed today, but it's going to be many more as the days go. So we're going with Odunze, Burden, and Jade Walker plus Loveland. Don't forget about Cole now. Don't forget about Cole. Don't forget about Cole Commit. Don't forget a lucky guy. Can't forget about Cole Commit. And I'm sure that they are going to add a wide receiver via free agency or the draft. This thing, when it comes down to wide receiver, because where we at in that room is not like a glaring need. So I think, it's going to be one of the quiet additions that we make, kind of similar to when we added Zacchaeus last year. I know the playoffs were a goal, but nobody picked the Bears to go to the playoffs. Even Fox, ESPN, Fox, and even Mike Wilbon didn't believe that we were going to make the playoffs. You're absolutely right. But I'm going to tell you something about them national pundits, and I'm going to tell you about the local guy, Michael Wilbon. Some of these guys that get paid $1,000 to get in front of the TV and talk to you, me, and everybody else, they can be wrong, bro. Because remember, they had some real crazy stuff to say about our quarterback, especially at the beginning of the year. And you see how that turned out. So of course, before before this year passed, there was a lot of crazy stuff being said about the Bears. You know, but we proved them wrong. And sometimes as fans, and when you're not able to watch closely, sometimes these irresponsible people get on these YouTubes and these televisions and say some of the most outlandish things. But if you watch the Chicago Bears last year and you recognize how many competitive games, not well the year before last, and you recognize how many games they were actually in and had the chance to win, it showed you that the addition of a better coach could turn those 6 wins or 4 wins into 8 or 9. You know, now 10 was a stretch, but again, I didn't see them winning the division. But with the way the schedule shook out and the way they turned it on, I mean, them making the playoffs was definitely a possibility for me. Doug G, Bajan to the Jets, possibly. What do you think the Jets give up for Bajan, Doug? Lucky Guy says last year was magical, but I'd rather be ahead most games than having to come back all the time. Absolutely, man. You're absolutely correct. We would love to have those comfortable games where 4 or 5 minutes left into the fourth quarter, we can bring that backup in. We can bring Tyson Bagent in, and he can hand the ball off. We all want that, but this is the NFL, and the uh the margin of victory is not as wide as some people may think. So sometimes you're gonna be in these games where they're gonna get close, they're gonna get tight. But I agree with you. I would rather be ahead. But being ahead sometimes means that the other team has a chance to come back on you and beat you. And every game is not going to be a blowout either way, for the good or for the bad. But I don't care how close or how far. I just want the W. But you make excellent points, Lucky guy. I will feel better if we are ahead in these games instead of making things super duper interesting like we have like we had the ability to do last year. But we came out on the top side of these things. So hey man, we gotta sacrifice something, man. Yeah, some people just watch highlights, and sometimes that's all they have time for, man. I understand people live different lives, and they may not have the opportunity to be glued in front of a computer or a TV all day. You know what I mean? So, but that's why we're here, man. That's why the honest people out here that give out this information, that's what we're here for. You know what I mean? Just because those guys get paid the big bucks and being seen on every TV in America don't mean they always right. And I'm not saying that we here are always right, but we gonna be real with you, and as a fan, that's all you can really ask. Just be straight up. So, okay, okay. When it comes to the Bears, though, and the things that they've shown throughout the years up until last year, it was pretty hard to be optimistic about anything they did. And I've been a Bears fan since I was 4 or 5 years old. So, but yeah, listen, the Bears made, like I said, winning the division was a surprise for me. But when we had the opportunity, I knew we had a chance to, I was all for it. Yeah, lucky guy. Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure. The business of football gets ugly sometime, and this is one of those ugly moments. I am definitely going to miss DJ Moore. Um, I'm gonna definitely miss DJ Moore. Just because, it was some questions about DJ, and a lot of people, didn't want to be honest about it. Now I'll never question a guy's effort or his heart, but on some of the plays, DJ wasn't going full, and it kind of disrupted the offense a little bit. Let's just be real. It just and it wasn't just last year; it was the year before as well. It was sometimes when DJ, when he knew he wasn't getting the ball, he just was just out there. Because you seen how quickly Caleb was able to develop chemistry with the Jade Walkers, with the Colston Lovelands, even with the Luther Burden. Because early in the year, Luther Burden was out. He was out. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even dressed out. But when he got in there, he was able to just, you know, it was kind of quick the way, what I'm saying, they was able to develop, what I'm saying, some chemistry. Even with Rome, now we know Caleb and Rome, they had a plan and they was drafted together, so they had a plan and they was gonna do their thing. But you just seen how he was able to develop chemistry with these other guys. And with DJ, it was just so hit or miss. It was so hit or miss, and it just kept. It never seemed like that they were going to be on the same page. Even though throughout the success that Caleb and DJ Mattis had, especially at the end of the year when Rome was out, it just never seemed like it was going to ever be that. You know what I mean? So on top of DJ getting paid 27 million, you know what I mean? Just had to go. Just had to let him go. And I didn't like it. I was trying to figure out ways that the guy can stay here, man. I was like some of these guys was about Justin Fields. I was trying to figure out a way that DJ could stay here because DJ was tough. He took big hits. He laid down on the ground for a little bit, but he got up and he kept rolling. And, he showed up every week, regardless of what he had going on physically. He was there. And I'm gonna miss the guy, and I wish nothing for the best for him in Buffalo. Ryan Poles did a great job of putting him in a very good situation to win or be a part of a winning organization like the one we're trying to build here. And he got a stud at QB, got a stud at running back. So hopefully he can make it work. Um, I'm gonna respond to a couple more of these in the chat because I appreciate you guys rolling with me. I got some responsible parenting duties that I have to take care of, so I can't be in here much longer. Uh, but shout out to Tracks, shout out to whole CSP, shout out to everybody in the chat that's coming in here hollering at me. Antonio says we had let me see. We had 3 games we should have won too. Hey man, that's how I go, bro. That's how I go. Unfortunately, we can't win all of them. And just like we sneak and win some, we gonna play good enough to lose a few. But as long as we winning much more than we losing, I think that's success. Agreed. Agreed, Tonio. Agree with you 100%. Nobody remembers the blowout games this year. They only remember the comebacks, though. Yeah, they remember because the comebacks were exciting as hell, man. Like, as a Bears fan, I can't remember being so excited and being so on the edge of my seat, waiting on what's next. You know, and the blowouts, hey, you look past those, but those comebacks were epic, Tonio, for sure. Like, you can't deny that. But at the end of the day, when whatever that record say, they remember that. So we want to have them double digits on the winning side every year. Scrolls, what's up? What's good, Scrolls? Good to see you, bro. I've been telling people about DJ Moore, but people were too emotional. Hey, now Scrolls. You know when some of these folks get attached to a player, you know how they kick it. You know that. But you're absolutely right, bro. They was emotionally attached. And I listen, I'm guilty. Now I wasn't putting up a super duper fight to keep him, but I felt like we should have. I felt like we should have kept him, but the money compared to what's going on and what was shown on the field just wasn't matching up. But Ryan Poles did an excellent job of getting that guy into a another winning situation. Let's see how he does in Buffalo. And really, to be honest with you, what he does and what he don't do in Buffalo ain't our problem no more. Let's just keep it a buck. All we can do on this departure from Chicago is wish him the best and keep it moving. Yeah, it was pretty ugly, you know what I'm saying, when we fired Lovey. But I think we done shook that, man. I think so. I think things are on a massive incline. And yeah, Noah, we ain't all lost. Listen, we on the up and up, bro. Scroll say, I'm so glad he's gone. Now Caleb is about to play free and take off. Hey, possibly. I know you won a Bears gift. I'm not sure if it's the last one. I know you won one, Rudolph. Super pissed is our next goal. Cardiac Bears. Hey, we built the brand off these exciting wins and these exciting losses last year. Antonio, I'm not mad at that either. And shout out to my boy Anio because he said a long time ago that Luther was the truth and Luther was going to end up being our one. He said that. He said that when the Bears drafted Luther. So shout out to Anio. And I hope you hear me because I'm giving him his props. He definitely said that. He was on Luther Burton from the time they called his name. So yeah, it could be, man. It'll be nice if we can have if we can have a duo, a wide receiver duo, similar to um Jamar Chase, and my man in Cincinnati, similar to what Minnesota has up there with those two receivers they have. Similar to like Randy Moss and Chris Carter. We're gonna take it back a little bit. Similar to Isaac Bruce and the Greatest Show on Turf. If we can have that type of motion. The AJ Brown and the Philadelphia motion. If we can have that, you know what I mean? Have two guys that can give us a G. Indeed, Super Bowls to go. AJ Brown got traded to the Patriots. Shout out to Noah King for breaking that. And that was been rumored for a while. Glad to see that that finally went the way it was supposed to go. That's great to hear. Yeah, yes indeed. Thank you, Rudolph. Thank you, sir, and congratulations on your win today. Um, Drive safely home from work. Yes, indeed. The pod is here for you. The pod is here for everybody, for every Bears fan. We talking in here. We talking that talk. We educating when we can. We're informing when we can. We're educating when we can. We doing our thing here at Chicago Sports Podcast. Please tune in daily. We're gonna have it for you. Again, thank you all. Thanks to everyone wherever you guys have been watching from today. Appreciate you rocking with me. The chat. What more can I say about you guys? Thank you so much. Listen, the newcomers, welcome. Lock in, tap in, and lock in with us. You are a part of the growth of this network, the growth of this platform. And thank you again for your new subscription today. For everybody else, thanks for keeping the track rolling. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the CPS family. Shout out to Tracks. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to every Bears fan out there. Unfortunately, I gotta let y'all go. I gotta ride, but this ride has been fun. Peace and love.